Ignat's corner, beyond Bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, clips it central for David Dunn. David Dunn equalises! It just had to be. Dack's corner and it goes. Glance towards goal! And Rovers have taken the lead! And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season. It may well be the goal that sends Rovers back into the Championship.
Good afternoon, Rovers fans, and as the days get longer, my hair gets longer. The thing that doesn't get longer is the wait for a Rovers Chat watch-along. Not once, but twice over this Easter weekend. We're here on Good Friday. We'll be here on Easter Monday. Loads of live content over the next 4 days. So what better way to spend your Easter weekend than with Rovers Chat on a watch-along? Hopefully seeing a victory away at Wycombe Wanderers after a very long 12 or 13 days since Rovers' last game. We've got Joe back with us, Rovers Analytics. How have you been, Joe? Have you missed Rovers or have you enjoyed the time off? You're on mute. You've missed it too much.
Gutted. Yeah, no, I have missed Rovers. I've thrown myself into the rugby league season starting, a big rugby league fan. And obviously grassroots football has returned, so it was nice to see my under-7s last night. Got the girls football academy after the game later today as well, so loads of fun. So not missed Rovers too much, been nice and busy. Busiest I've been in maybe a year.
Spot on that. And as everyone can see, we have done a bit of a transfer during the 12-day. We've swapped out Luke Kimberley and we've got 1875 podcast star Alex Lomax. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm good, Ryan. I don't think I've ever been described in that way. And you said that your hair grows longer by the day. Well, I think, as you can probably tell, I've taken matters into my own hands there. Don't know if it's turned out too well, but I'll take the reviews if they're forthcoming in the comments. But yeah, it's good to be on a watch along again, and I hope that I can shake off my 100% losing record. So yeah, that'll be.
Actually, yeah, that's true. You are the only member of the watch-along crew that's not seen us win. So let's hope that you're not the bad luck charm. It's secretly Luke Kimberley. That's who we're saying. So, but maybe it's you. Who knows? Rovers fans, if you have forgotten how we do things at Rovers Chat, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please turn on all notifications by hitting that bell icon. And of course, give this video a like and all of our other videos a huge like across our channel. As we always say, please do show us your setup. Let us know how you're watching the game. You can tweet or DM us at RoversChat_, which was our new Twitter handle that went live just before the international break, actually, is when that happened. And yeah, Super Chat is available for those of you that do want to do that. We are always very grateful for the very kind support of all of our very loyal viewers and fans. It's really kept us going through these last 12 months or so. So thanks ever so much to everyone for your support as ever. But before we get stuck into the team news and the game, just a couple of reminders. We are sponsored by Blue Rose Capital and we are sponsored by 6yardsout.com.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.
Thank you to our very kind sponsors. Just quickly before the team news, I'm going to let you address this question, Joe, because I know you were very, very, very excited in our private chat. So can you confirm to Jared whether you received the barbecue crisps?
I certainly did. I put something out on Twitter, so you mustn't have seen it, but I did try and thank you publicly, and I'm happy to do so again. They have arrived. It doesn't shock me that customs thought you were sending me drugs. I half thought it might have been drugs when I opened the package myself. I've never seen crisps packaged in such a way. Fascinating. It's like a bag within a bag and it's unbranded inside. It's very interesting, but that's me being completely inexperienced with American cuisine. I have tried some, but the plan is for me to drive to Luke over in Burnley, boo, and hopefully this month. And when we get a sunny afternoon, I'll go and sit in the garden with Luke. We'll have a beer and we'll do a taste test and maybe film it for you guys. But yes, I've tried some. Very, very nice. I really like the flavour. Very sweet as they go in, and then very, very, very spicy as they hit your throat. But I really appreciate you sending those over, and I know that it cost you a lot of time and effort to do so. So thanks very much. And yeah, really enjoyed them. Ryan's so far away from me, I don't think he's going to get to enjoy them, but he tells me he's not too bothered.
I'm not, just secretly crying in my sleep. But there we go. My time will come. So, Alex, I'm just going to come to you first then, just for the team news. And we've got one of these fantastic graphics from Joe again. I love these. The Rovers team, for me, looks really strong. I really like that. But what's your thoughts? What's your standout bits of that team and any surprises in there?
Well, I think the first reaction I had to the team news was just how well balanced the team looks. I think I would say since Christmas, really, and the return of Dak and Travis to the side and their return from injury, I think it's confused matters, and I think we'd all, on reflection, agree with that. And we've never really found a formula week to week. I thought we'd found a little bit of an unexpected formula with Dolan playing that more central role that seemed to work quite well, but obviously that's been disposed of, and we end up with the team we have today. So I think on first look, I think the team looks, as I said, very well balanced. I like the one more defensively minded midfielder in Tribal there, who I don't think has had much of a chance this season. And you have Holtby and Rothwell in there as well. And I think that midfield three gives a good balance. Other highlights, I think Rankin Costello continues to seem to have the favour of the manager over Ryan Nyambe, which is, again, quite interesting. But I would say that Rankin Costello probably deserves the start based on his performances, and Nyambe hasn't impressed when he's come off the bench. And then I would say probably a mixture of the other members of the side. I would say that it's quite unusual for two members of the team to maybe only get back into camp, less than 48 hours ago and be in the starting 11. So it'll be interesting to see how that potentially impacts on them performance-wise.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm just going to come to you. Here we go. Made a mistake. I know. There's the first mistake out the window. It's really sad that we're probably going to see this. I'm not going to call it nonsense, but I can't find a better word for it. Adam Armstrong's not in the squad today. He's obviously got some form of hamstring injury. He strikes me as a lad that is a really humble lad that won't try and cause problems in the rest of his time at Rovers, if indeed he is going to leave in the summer. But I'm assuming that there is now conversations going on between the physio, his agent, Tony Mowbray, and himself, just to say, look, if you are leaving in the summer, you just need to protect your hamstring. You need to be careful now. And unfortunately, do you think we're going to just see less of him now between now and the end of the season?
I don't know. I think it's fair enough for me when a player is most likely to leave. If he's been told by a physio that if he plays, he's got a quite high percentage of hurting himself for a significant period, it's well within his rights to say, well, I'm not going to play. And we don't know for sure whether it was his call or the manager's, but you can't begrudge a player of his age and his ability, a player who's never had a long-term injury and has played a ridiculous amount of games for his age. I think he's probably played more senior football games at his age than any player in England. I'll look into that one and confirm that fact, but I bet if he isn't, he's in the top 5 at least. It's ridiculous the amount of football he's played, and that's because he hasn't had injuries. So I don't begrudge him trying to keep up that record and not getting himself injured as we head into the summer. And from a Rovers perspective, if he goes into the summer with a 6-month injury, we're not getting any money for him either. So in my opinion, I think it's the right thing to do. We're playing a Wycombe side that on all accounts we should beat. So, with him or without him. And I think it's plausible that we can beat this team without him. We're not going for the playoffs. We're not anywhere near it. We're probably not going down because there's too many sides worse than us. So, yeah, it's the right decision for him not to play. On the lineup, if you just bring it back up for me, mate.
I will. Where's my mouse? There it is.
Gutted that Buckley's not continued to keep a place in the side. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I think he's played really well in the games that he started in. I can understand why he'd want to change things up, but we've just had a big break, so fitness shouldn't be an issue. I'm happy to see Tribal back in the side. I think he'd really started to show why he's worth a starting spot in our team. We'll ignore the fact that I've spelt his name wrong in the rush of getting this graphic out. Tireable. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's been playing really good football, and I think if Tom Tribal can play like that for the rest of the season, as he played before this international break, then I think he's definitely in with a shout of coming back here next year on a free or on a very small deal from Norwich. Obviously, the contract situation there for him dictates that he'd be on a lot of money as and when they get promoted, and they're going to want rid. So I think we'll be able to get that one done, and that'll be nice. But let's see how he does, I suppose. Interesting to note that Ranking Costello is back in again ahead of Nyambe. I think that says a lot, to be honest. We've had an international break. There's definitely no injuries there. He clearly is just the favourite right now, and I'm not against it.
Yeah, and Alex, Alex, I'm just going to come back to you. So Sam Gallagher is obviously up front today, or it looks like he's going to be up front today. Mowbray's been in the press this week, hasn't he, talking about the potential lack of funds that we might have to spend in the summer. He's used phrases like loans and frees and stuff like that. So regardless of how much we may or may not get for Adam Armstrong, we're probably not going to be going out and shelling out much on a striker. So are you looking forward to seeing maybe a run of games for Sam Gallagher in a central striking position to see what he can do for us? I mean, I'm just looking at iFollow now. It's got Brereton as the one through the middle. So either or with one of those two. Are you looking forward to one of them just being that central striker, seeing what they can do?
Well, I'm looking forward to hopefully him showing a lot more than he has shown in his Rovers career today. I think we would all agree that neither Brereton nor Gallagher have provided that goal-scoring instinct or that goal-scoring ability that we would all hope to get for that amount of money. So what I would say about Sam Gallagher is that I do think that he's been a bit of a victim of not nailing down a position in the team. I think that probably plays into the question. I think we've always kind of debated around that third striker, and Brereton and Gallagher have always seemed to be fighting for that position. And I think certainly in that first season, it seemed like one had a bad game and then there was a change, and then the other had a bad game because they'd been being played inconsistently, and it just kind of was constant chopping and changing. So what I would say on Sam Gallagher is that, you look at the point he is in his career now, if he isn't going to show in the next year or two that he can provide those amount of goals on a consistent basis, then, where is he going with his career? I don't really know. I'll be honest with you. So do I think he can do it? It's really hard. I have to say I've not seen signs of Sam Gallagher being a 20-odd goal season striker. When you watch strikers play, and, we've had strikers at Rovers since I've been watching them that score 20-odd goals a season, your Jordan Rhodes and Adam Armstrongs, etc. They anticipate that the goalkeeper might make a mistake or that the defender might make a mistake, and they're there to get the tap-ins. And often when I've ever seen Sam Gallagher play for Rovers, he's not anticipated those moments that can just knit you a goal in a really tight game. And I think that's probably where you see the difference in the goal scoring. I don't think technical ability is much different than other strikers I've seen at Rovers, but I just think that ability to get in the right place at the right times and score those tap-in goals that Danny Graham got so many of, that really makes the difference. And yeah, as I said, I haven't seen enough from Sam Gallagher or Ben Brereton, in fact, but he's much younger, obviously, that shows me that they can do that on a consistent basis. Now, I'd love to be proved wrong, and, I hope that he scores a hat-trick today, and, we're all eulogising about him after the match, but I've not seen enough today to make that claim.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm just going to come back to the side. One thing we have mentioned in recent weeks is we've appeared to have some really good options from the bench. I'm just going to bring up the comment from Ross. Worry about our lack of attacking options on the bench. With Bradley Dack having a long-term injury, with Adam Armstrong not in the side, just looking at that bench, really, Tyrese Dolan's probably the only one that's going to change it in an attacking sense for us, isn't it? So have you got any concerns about the bench. And if it is 0-0 or it's a bit of a grind of a game, how are we going to change it up today?
Well, I think if it's 0-0 and we're 70 minutes in, Wycombe are probably going to be sat in their box defending with 11 men behind the ball. So is it pace that you need? You're probably looking to bring on your Downings and your Buckleys there anyway. And if we're 2-0 up, you want your Johnsons and your Evans to make sure we see out the win. So against a team like this, it's not the end of the world. Just to come in on the Sam Gallagher thing, I don't think we'll see Gallagher or Brereton through the middle. I think it'll be Elliott or Holtby as a false nine, because that's what we see, isn't it?
And that's certainly what Nick Marsden said here. Galley and Brio on the wing seems even more questionable given we're playing Elliott up top. And
probably.
I'm not sure that Liverpool will be too happy with us playing Elliott as a false nine, if I'm being honest. I can't see him playing that position for Liverpool. But hey-ho, I really hope it's not that, Joe, and Nick as well. I really hope it is one of them through the middle. I would just... I would love to see Sam Gallagher through the middle. Don't get me wrong. I said after that Norwich game, when Armstrong's not fit, play Sam Gallagher through the middle, whip crosses into him. You've got Douglas and Rankin Costello, who theoretically should be able to find him. Elliott should be able to find him. Holtby should be able to find him. And we've seen that Tom Tribal can flick the ball. I mean, that goal that Bradley Dack scored at home, we can create for a central striker, no matter how good they are. Give me Wycombe's central striker. Play him up front. He might get a goal. If you start playing Holtby's and Buckleys and Elliott's as false nines, how many goals do they get? Have we ever scored a goal from the false nine? Has Holtby or Rothwell or Buckley ever actually scored from that false nine position? I don't think they have. Play a striker up front, even if it's Ben Brereton up front, fine. Or Dan Butterworth, he's fit now. Why is he not on the bench? I don't get it. No, and I think this is one of my biggest criticisms of Mowbray throughout his whole tenure, actually. Obviously, in recent months, everything's coming to a bit more of a crescendo. But I think throughout his whole time at Rovers, actually, he could be accused of overcomplicating things. And I just think that when you are a side like Rovers in that lower to bottom half of the championship, we don't need false nines and these silly formations. We need to, in some respects, go back to basics, get a simple formation, get a way of playing that's going to help us rise the table. If we're top of the league, clear, and we're playing false nines, fine. That's it. You can probably do it. But I just think he does overcomplicate it sometimes. And God, when we look at the first 10 seconds, if it does look like Brio and Galley are on the wings, we can all just take that sigh of despair, I guess.
Don't get me wrong, though. Let's just look at the blue side of this graphic for a moment. And you've done the on the other side show, Ryan. Look, this Wycombe side are poor. It's a poor team. It's not a championship team. We could have, Bell, Evans, Johnson, Branthwaite, Downing, Buckley and Dolan in the starting lineup today, and I would still be expecting us to win this football match. We are a better side than the team we are playing today, and there is no excuse for not winning this game, no matter whether you play Darragh Lenihan as I've made the mistake. No matter if you play Darragh Lenihan as a false nine, we've got to win this football game because we're better than the team that we're playing.
Yeah, definitely. And on the other side, last night when I was doing the research, they've got 4 home wins all season, just 12 goals at home all season as well. So you're right, Joe. They've really struggled at this level and have struggled at home as well.
I actually want to see Darragh Lenihan as a false nine now. I'd like to see how he'd do. I think he'd score a few headers, actually. I think he could get in the box and really go for it. He can cross a ball. He really can cross a ball.
That'd be so... Yeah, to be fair, he's got a good delivery, yeah.
I was going to say, is the reason Luke Kimbley's not here is that he's playing false nine instead. I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, we might see him there. Oh, dear. To be fair, Ollie does make a good point here. We did complain when Dolan played false nine at Millwall. We could see a masterclass coming. It's a fair point, Ollie. Really fair point. I was one of those.
Was he a false nine? Was he a false nine against Millwall? I thought he roamed all over the pitch. He was deeper than the double pivot midfield at times in that game. He was more just like we were playing with 10, and then he was the one running around like a headless chicken. But yeah, I take that point. I think if it's anyone at false nine, it'll be Holtby though, because that's who he always throws there.
Well, we'll see what happens. Rovers fans, we are about 8 minutes away from kickoff now. And I did notice actually right at the start, I think British summertime is certainly helping Dizzy out because he's not having to stay up as late. So pleased that we're closer to your time zone now, Dizzy, and this hopefully isn't a late one for you and Ollie and others over down under as well. But obviously, it's probably a bit earlier now for the likes of Jared and others over in the States. So you win some, you lose some, don't you?
Sorry, Ryan. I'm just going to nip for my pre-match wee. Sorry.
For those of you new to the channel, this is a regular occurrence for Joe as he controls his bladder before kickoff. Alex, I'm going to come to you before I go into the comments from Rovers fans. So Rovers fans, let us know how you think the game's going to go. What type of game are you expecting? What result do you want? What do you want to see from Rovers today? You know, those types of things. Let us know in the comments and I'll pick those off just before kickoff. Alex, just, you know, what's your thoughts on today? How do you think it's going to go? And what's your score prediction?
Well, I'll probably just build on what Joe said before. I mean, you've got to look at the league table, and Wycombe are bottom of the league. You know, they're 11 points adrift of safety with 8 games to go. I think that probably tells you what you need to know about how they've struggled this season. You know, they're 19 points behind us. You know, we've scored double the amount of goals they have. So when you look at all of those factors, you've got to say that Rovers have to be going into this game expecting to win, not it being a given that they win. They've got to turn up and show the fight to win. But if we show our quality and we play as we know we can, then obviously there's no reason why we can't win today. And I think in light of that and in light of the team that I've seen, I'll probably... you've caught me off guard, though, with the score prediction. I'll go with 2-1 Rovers today.
2-1 Rovers from Alex. Joe, I'm hoping that you did some thoughts whilst you were controlling your bladder there. So what's your thoughts on the game? How do you think it's going to go?
4-0 Rovers, I'll go. 4-0.
4-0? Very confident, Joe. I feel bad now because I predicted 1-0 Rovers on the other side last night because I just think that Ainsworth certainly got his fingers burnt at Ewood Park trying to come at Rovers. And as Phil was saying last night on the other side, the way Wycombe win games is to grind it out and get a 1-0. And obviously we're a side that hates going behind. So I think that Ainsworth is going to try and keep this as tight as he possibly can for as long as he possibly can. But maybe I'm going to revise.
I'm loving that. Chris.
I know Chris made me chuckle with that one as well. But maybe I'm going to revise. I'm going to revise up to 2-0. I think the side looks really balanced today. I think it looks good. So 2-0 Rovers is what I'm going for. Yeah, so Luke, you are looking a bit fresh today. So tell us your secret.
Maybe a bit of hair dye, a few extra pounds, maybe. I don't know.
I should have just left the nameplate, shouldn't I? I just left it as Luke.
You probably would have confused some people. Absolutely.
What I will say is if we do win 4-0, Luke's not coming back because we know he's the bad luck charm.
Yeah. He'll be absolutely gutted if that happens as well. I know he will. So let's have a look at some of these predictions whilst we wait for the people to come out. Can we spot Jacob and Rich? I think I did just spot Jacob there in his little press box on iFollow. That was quite funny. Ollie James wants Tommy K as a false 9. I'd love that. Absolutely love that. How good would that be? Just want a Rovers win. Not worried about the scoreline. Just getting the points. Matthew's saying 2-1. 2-0 from Byram. 3-0. We've got lots of confident predictions here. Kevin.
Interesting that Lewis Travis is there.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we're not spoken about Travis at all, have we?
No, but interesting that he's in attendance. So he must be the, well, usually it's the 19th man or whatever, but with how many subs there are now, I can't really keep track.
No. Kevin, you won an online darts competition. How did you? Is it like? How does that work? Did you just log? You play at home and probably log your score and do it that way? I'm assuming that's what you do with your own. And do you put a camera onto what you're doing so they can verify your score? Let us know how that works, Kevin. Chris has gone 3-1. Rovers. Oh yeah, the Armstrong card. I forgot about that.
We need 4.
Rovers need 4 for the upgrade on Armstrong. There we go. My little lad will be buzzing if that happens, Stevie. That's for sure.
Steve Cotton. I love that. Just imagine if it was.
Oh, look, I think he's not very well at the moment, though, is he? I think he's been in hospital.
Oh, yeah. True, actually.
Struggling with COVID.
Yeah, I think he's been in and out of hospital with COVID in the last couple of months, hasn't he?
Yeah. So hopefully he gets better soon. 4-0 there. Michael's gone 3-0. Alexander 4-1. Lots of confident predictions here. We're loving this. Dizzy, I want to see Rovers control the ball and build pressure. 3-1. Still just waiting for the players to come out. For those of you not watching, Ollie's going 2-0. Ross is going 3-0 Rovers. Leap year man, 3-1 Rovers. This is the start of a strong end to the season. Yeah, as it always bloody is, leap year man. Just be so annoying, wouldn't it? Matt Abraham 4-2. John's going 2-1. 2-0 Rovers. Yes, we did see that leap year. We just spoke. You might not have been with us on the show at about 20-3. We did mention that obviously if Armstrong does go and whatever money we get for him, that, you know, it might be Gallagher and Brereton are the ones up top. So yeah, we did see that. Does suggest he's staying, or he's not been given any assurances that he's getting any money. You could read that both ways, I reckon. So we'll see. I'll go Kevin. Video camera aimed at board and using online scoring. Okay, that's cool. Liam 3-0. I think it's 3 for Armstrong to get upgraded. I'm going 2-0. That'll just be the Rovers way.
I think it's 4 because we got 1 against Norwich and we needed 5 in those 2. So I think it's 4.
We're still waiting. It's like 1 minute to 3 and the players still aren't out. So they're absolutely...
They're on the way.
Can you see them? Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, there they are. Hunters 5-0. Love it. Jill's back with us. Hi, Jill. 3-1. Hoping for a confident. Oh, Spencer, you're the only one man. 1-1. Everyone else has predicted a win to a person. So
I've got to go and collect my half-time brew today. It's been ordered on collection rather than delivery.
Why collection?
We've got a sore back. The delivery driver's got a sore back, so I'm on collection.
Jill, you're going to let the fans down. They love seeing your half-time appearance. Play through the pain barrier. Take an injection.
Just like Adam Armstrong. She's saving herself in case she gets a move to, I don't know, Millwall or something.
Sonny goes 3-0 Valley hat-trick. Oh, dear. Right, let us know if you're not watching the game, Rovers fans, and we'll do our best to describe the action. Both sides are now out. So this will be underway very shortly. Come on, Rovers. Oh, I need to get my beer out of the fridge.
That ground is in the middle of the countryside. It's really weird. It's like fields just around.
Phil was saying last night that apparently, so looking out to the left of how we're looking at this stadium now, apparently you can see all the Chiltern Hills, but to the right, it's an industrial estate.
It's a weird stadium. It looks like a house on that far right corner, just sat there.
Yeah.
It's not like someone's living room, does it? Crikey. We could be kicking off behind this. Who knows? Just a big graphic in the way.
So they've still got Brio up top. I follow us. So we'll see.
I've seen iFollow put Nyambe in midfield before, so... Have we got any qualms with David Webb as our referee? Any issues with him?
I do remember there's some spurious reason, but I can't remember.
Harvey Elliott's taking the kick-off, which tells me he might be up front.
Yeah. Which seconds are we pausing on to sync up?
We'll do 10. I'll count into 10 myself and we'll see where we're at.
So we're just about to kick off, Rovers fans.
Click when you kick off.
I think I was bang on with you, Joe.
I'm a second behind you.
Right, okay. So we'll pause at 10. 8, 9, 10.
Right, and 10. Go again. You're
yeah,
right now.
Brilliant. Should be fine. 13, 14, 15.
Yeah. We're all
bang on. There we go, Rovers fans. So come on, the game has started. I need to get the banner on the way. Oh, I
love that from Matt.
What's it said? Can you bring it up whilst I do this?
He's an EFL ref, Joe. Of course we have issues.
I was
Oh,
I was listening. Oh, I thought we were going to thread that ball through earlier. I was listening to the second tier pod earlier, actually, and they made they made a really interesting point about the refs because of the expansion of VAR in the Premier League and the need for more officials. The good Championship refs have been taken by the Premier League because they need more officials to service that. So it's leaving the Championship with the lower grade Football League ones, and I hadn't really thought about that before.
But personally, I thought the referees in that League One season weren't as bad as the referees we've got now. I thought they were all right. Well, they weren't great, but they were manageable. But we were winning football games.
Yeah, I think there's a reason for that, and I think the reason is because most of the games we were out of sight, we didn't allow a bad refereeing decision to really affect the outcome of the game. And so you don't remember bad decisions, but yeah, I
think the only game I can think of that saw kind of a referee really take over, like you see in the Championship, was that Shrewsbury game at home where there was kind of like 2 penalties and a lot of free kicks and big chance. And Dean Henderson throwing bottles in the crowd and all that. You know, that's the only one I can think of, really.
As well at home to Wimbledon, that was a particularly bad performance that I recall.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got an opposition fan with us. Lovely to see.
Oh, hi, Susie. Good to have you on. We'll say the same that we say to all the opposition fans. Come and be a nice person and you'll get nice Rovers fans interacting with you as well. So good to have you on our show.
Oh, brilliant. Right. Don't check Twitter, Ryan, Alex. I'm going to show you something in a minute that Forest City Trivia has done. Oh, this is brilliant. Don't look. I'm going to get it on for us. Give me a minute. Oh, this is funny. Right, I'm uploading it now.
I can't wait for this. Wycombe we'll just get this long throw out the way, Joe. So Wycombe have just got a long throw. So it's been put in as the motorbike goes racing past my house. Hope you didn't hear too much of that. So they've kept it alive. They're just
let me show you this.
Oh, that is superb.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh dear. I don't really know what to say to that.
So Wycombe, I've got a free kick here on the right channel. It's a chance for Joe Jacobson to whip this ball in. He's obviously got a very, very good set-piece delivery as Joe Jacobson. So Rovers have got their line on the 18-yard line as Jacobson's going to whip this in with his left foot. So we're just coming up to the 4-minute mark. It's just going to be put in now. One-man wall.
That one-man Harvey Elliott wall, isn't that protective?
No.
Yeah.
Bit pointless, that one.
It was pointless. It was cleared by Rovers, and now we do have a chance. Ooh.
It is Holtby as a false 9, by the way.
Yeah, I agree. He was the one that, when we said, chance really early on in the game, it was Holtby the one who nearly had the ball played over to him. But here come Wycombe. Is this Mehmeti?
Well played, Howard.
Yeah, it was Mehmeti. So Phil, he was absolutely waxing lyrical about this guy. He was playing in the 9th tier last season, and apparently he's just come in and ripped it up for Wycombe. He fully expects this guy to go and play at a good level. 20 years old from Albania. But yeah, he's just had a shot there for those of you not watching, and it got deflected over for a corner. So here we go. Corner going to be played in for Wycombe here. Kaminski under a bit of pressure did manage to just claw the ball away.
Not the best clearance from Gallagher there.
No.
I'll have another bite of the cherry. Oh, chance. Oh, it might go.
This is sloppy.
Yeah.
It did go. Goal kick.
Minsky made a bit of a meal.
He did make a meal, and I think Wycombe have started really brightly. Really, really brightly.
The moves are out. Oh, Tony.
Oh.
Crikey. Big ball for Gallagher. He's got there.
I thought he got a little nick there, but...
Yeah, Sam. He's done well there, though. Oh.
Yeah. Tribal. I would love us to sign Tribal next season.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's played well recently.
I think when you look at the players out of contract, you would say if Corey Evans leaves, I think there would be enough room in the wage bill to facilitate that. I would have thought.
Yeah, you'd say so with Evans gone and Mulgrew and Williams and Bennett, and I think you need that cover anyway with no Evans or Bennett. I think you do need one because otherwise you're going to end up with maybe 2-3 defensive midfielders at the club, which is so funny considering how many midfielders we've had in the past and moaning about midfielders always being what we sign.
Chris, are you on iFollow or something else? Are you in the UK or abroad? It's a shame you're only 4 minutes in.
Interesting. Rovers attempting to play out from the back there, not really working.
It might be North.
Ooh. Jill, I love that. Tony's been in the biscuit tin.
Big chance here. Break it.
Yeah, we go.
4 on 3.
Forward.
Come on.
It's going to be Lewis Holtby.
No, not the best ball.
Elliott on the edge of the box.
Really poor ball from Holtby there with his weaker foot. Not impressed.
That's the one thing that really disappoints you about Holtby is his end product. Just for players.
Yeah, that final ball, not good enough.
Chris, are you on iFollow? Have you clicked the live button? I know that sounds daft. Just make sure you've hit that live button on iFollow as well. That's quite far behind us.
Yeah. It's very end-to-end this game so far, which I don't think many people expected, and Wycombe have won a corner.
I didn't expect this, and I thought that they would just sit back a bit more, particularly after getting punked 5-0 at Ewood Park. So I am surprised.
That might come down to a case of perhaps players looking at the league table, accepting the inevitable and playing with a little bit of freedom, maybe.
Well, if they are going to do the Great Escape, it's their next 3 games that they have to do it with. They've got Rovers, Rotherham and Luton, and then they've got a very tough final 5 games. So they have to get points out of these next 3 Wycombe if the Great Escape's going to happen. So it's a corner for Wycombe here, going to be whipped in. It's gone near post and cleared at the near post.
Offside. Surely offside.
𝐒𝐿𝐄. No.
Oh, wow.
I think he managed to ghost in there, Joe. I think someone else definitely was, and I think he managed to just sneak in. I don't know if we're going to see the replay.
I mean, he's within 10 metres, isn't he? So that's offside. It's a poor call from the linesman, that. Surely affecting play by dragging those defenders. So
it's another corner for Wycombe. I think this is their 3rd or 4th of the game so far. 8 minutes in, so it's going to be Jacobson to whip this one in this time. He's gone for a little flight to the back stick. 𝐒𝐿𝐄 did win that. Oof. Tell you what, Wycombe are looking a bit
Another poor clearance. That's our 4th poor clearance now, giving them another go yet again. Tribal's going to have a go this time. Is it better? It is out to Brereton, but doesn't do enough with it.
That's it to no one.
Yeah. I don't mind them having the ball in our half, though, because we've already had like a 4-on-3 situation on the counter. I think that's where we'll score goals against quite a poor defence.
I'm surprised. I am really surprised that they're playing this way, Joe, because I think we are dangerous on the counter-attack and we hurt them at Ewood.
They're probably thinking we get the first goal and then we shift defensive. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, they lose. And perhaps against Rovers, that's the 50-50 chance you take. Because if you score the first goal against us, you know you're going to win.
Yeah. Oh, Jared's got COVID. Oh, hope you get better soon, Jared. Just take care of yourself. Simon.
Oh, I saw that.
Don't incur the wrath of Harvey.
How are the vaccinations going in Ohio? I think it is where you're at.
I was going to say, the situation in America doesn't seem as positive as it is here.
Is this another free kick?
No, it's just a throw in.
Just a throw. So they have got the long throw. I'll tell you what I need to do as well. I need to get Wycombe's team sheet up because I can't just keep thinking in my head, number 26. It's going to be a long throw.
Nobody marking that guy at the back.
This is like playing Tony Pulis's Stoke side. with those long throws.
Chance.
Goal kick.
Some ball.
Wycombe are looking really dangerous for those of you not watching. This first 10 minutes, Wycombe have visibly come at Rovers. Wasn't expecting this game, actually, but they are trying to get that first goal, most certainly. So Rovers have been sloppy at times, as you've heard Joe say, just a few loose clearances and not really being clinical in a defensive sense. So we've just got to be very careful.
Yeah, well, lucky it's Wycombe because they're pushing forward a lot, but you can see that they lack quality. Against a Norwich, we'd already be one down.
It looks like we planned for a different game to the game that's going on at the minute.
Probably something like that, yeah. Although this is a chance. Nothing, ref, no? Nothing given.
Pam's got the Birra Moretti on draft. Have you got a sub or a blade machine, Pam? I can't remember what you've got. I've got a sub machine with Birra Moretti. It's good. It is nice. Sonny's question: who would you give new contracts to next season? Definitely Rothwell.
Rankin, Costello, Chapman, Tribal. I'd leave Douglas. I'd leave Evans. I'd leave Bennett. I'd leave Mulgrew. Yeah,
now we've put our flag to the mast with Pickering. Douglas is going to want to play, and he's not going to if we've signed Pickering and whatever.
Oh dear! Oh no, it's not a Blackburn player. Thank God.
I think most of the players with a year's option on their contract will probably be renewed. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Just due to the numbers that are leaving, that'll probably kick the can down the road for another 12 months or so. But I think the big thing this summer is how do we replace the loan players with similar quality loan players again? Because by the sounds of it, we won't have millions of pounds to spend, and it'll be how we work in the loan market. But as we've seen, you can only really do good loan deals towards the end of the window usually, so that could leave us in a bit of a bad situation heading into the first game or two of the season. So that'll be interesting.
And it'll be even later this time, Alex, as well, with Euro 2021. Those loans are going to take even more to filter through. Some of these Premier League clubs, I was just going to say, some of these Premier League clubs are not going to be eyeballing their squads until, end of July, beginning of August?
On that point from Alexander there, it more comes from a place of, I think he will be extended. So, I don't know, when a player goes on loan to the league below and does so well, it's unfair to not give them that chance to come back in pre-season and see. I have my thoughts on his end product at this level, and I would like to see us go and get some players that have potentially got better end product. But, when he's impressed that well in the league below, you've got to give him that chance to come back and see. Maybe he's matured. I think from Mowbray's comments, he's going to be extended. So my comment on him being extended was more just, because I think he's going to be. So would I give him the chance? Yeah, you've got to give everybody the chance. Is he better than Dolan? I don't know. Does he get in ahead of Gallagher and Brereton? Because Mowbray clearly wants to play him on the wing. Have we got a new manager who would potentially play Chapman as his main man? Who knows? Tough to say.
For those of you not watching, there is a break in play here because 𝐒𝐄, their defensive midfielder, number 4, has gone. He's been down. He's going off on a stretcher, so he's been down for 3 or 4 minutes now. So yeah, nothing happening in the game at the moment. I don't know what the injury is, but he looks in a bit of pain.
Looked like a bad knee
Chapman, though. Sorry, Alex.
It looked like a pretty bad knee injury to me. I think he was holding his knee, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's in a lot of discomfort. Definitely, he's getting stretchered off now. You don't want to see that. Awful for him as well after a bloody international break as well. 15 minutes in after a break, it's just gutting that for him.
It's warm in the UK when all the ambulance staff are in short sleeves.
Well, in the UK, if it's above 10 degrees, everyone's in shorts and sunglasses, aren't they? So,
absolutely.
I'm in shorts in the garage here. The people who do not care what temperature it is, though, and wear shorts are postmen, though. They always wear shorts. And I don't know if it's an unwritten rule of being a postman that you
I think it's because you do a lot of walking, don't you? So you do a lot of sweating.
Yeah. But even 0, like when it's been like -5 or whatever, you still see them in bloody shorts.
And by the way, to all the American listeners, it's not 10 Fahrenheit because that's like -20. So definitely not. Just don't get confused around.
The game has restarted now. So here we go. Probably going to be 3 or 4 minutes added on at the end of the first half after that injury. I thought it was Speedos.
Should we do a quick time check?
Yes.
16, 33, 34, 35.
Bang on.
I'm 1 second in front of you guys.
Okie dokie. Just pause for like half a second then.
So Wycombe now are coming forward again to McCarthy. I've done my research now. I've got a team sheet loaded so I can see that number 26 is McCarthy.
So what position was Bape in? Is he a defender?
Yeah, a defensive mid, kind of in that what you would call the double pivot these days.
Okay.
You wonder if that breaking play has probably disrupted Wycombe's attacking intent, but it doesn't look like it so far, does it?
Perhaps.
No. They are visibly set up to get the first goal today, that has shocked me. I thought they'd be grinding it out a bit more. So good for us because we're going to see an open game, but you know,
centre back options. Do you think we need to sign her? Well, obviously Daniel Ayala's at the club for another 2 seasons. Doesn't matter what you think about it. That's just the truth of it. So we've got 2 with him and Lenihan. Obviously, Wharton has been doing quite well, but again, he's incredibly injury prone. He's been injured a lot during his time here and on loan. Then you've got Carter, who's impressed at Burton. Is he a championship defender yet? I don't know. They seem to think he absolutely is. So you probably need one. You want a left footer because you've no Williams and Mulgrew anymore. And Wharton's touch and go, and you've got Ayala and Carter to back up that right centre-back position. Personally, I'd move to 5 at the back. I'd renew Ryan Nyambe's contract, and I'd play Rankin Costello, Nyambe, Lenihan, Wharton, and Pickering across the back, personally. Sorry, Ryan.
That is a huge miss for Wycombe. Jacobson's put that on the goal. I mean, that should be a goal. It's Musquay. So Jacobson's taken a fantastic corner and it's literally landed like 1 yard and Musquay's headed it over from a yard. I mean, it was a
If he doesn't touch it, it probably just goes in.
Yeah, like Jacobson's really whipped that in. Like, think of Charlie Mulgrew's corner, probably away at Bristol City, if you remember that one. It kind of went in that kind of area, but Musquay's headed it over. That's a huge miss for Wycombe there. We got away with that. By the way, if you can hear banging, because I'm in the garage.
Oh, Gallagher.
DIY going on over the road.
Just passing across the field without any vision whatsoever, looking at your surroundings. Just really, really poor that.
Liam had Musquay in a lower league FM save. He certainly didn't miss those. Yeah, big chance. Real big chance. I think you're right, Joe. I think that was going in.
It was definitely going in.
Could have just ducked, couldn't he?
Jacobson scored loads of those. I think he got 3 in one game directly from corners, didn't he?
That was against Lincoln that he did that.
Yeah.
I feel like we barely touched the ball.
I remember the heartbreak in the Lincoln fans.
Well,
I am gutted we've not been able to go to this stadium, you know. Absolutely gutted. I hope that they go down and come back.
That was great defending from Howard Bellistar. Really experienced. He's been so impressive.
Yeah, he really has.
He'd be the one I'd try and get as the
We need to do it. Do you know what, right? This might sound daft, but if the only bit of money we've got is to get Harwood-Bellis again next season, and it ends up with Sam Gallagher up front or whatever, get Harwood-Bellis next season. That's where I'd be spending our loan money if we can get it. I think you're right, Joe. I think he's been fantastic. I'm hoping we can do something similar to what Leeds have done. You know, Leeds have struck up that really good relationship with Man City, with Jack Harrison, and he's been there 3 seasons in a row now, hasn't he? 2 of those in the Championship. If we could somehow convince Man City, keep him at Rovers for another season, and if we go up or whatever, I don't know, do Premier League the season after next. It'd be really good if we can get him. But if there are the rumours of the likes of Brentford and others sniffing round, then, you know, from a footballing perspective, City might prefer him to go elsewhere.
Rovers look terrible. This is really poor.
Yeah.
We've not had the ball for more than 30 seconds in this game.
You know, this has been abject so far in every way, hasn't it, really? Other than conceding the goal.
There's no midfield.
No.
Well, those 2 Wycombe central midfielders are on their own completely.
I don't think we'll get Elliott.
I just don't think Wharton, Carter, Lenihan and Ayala is enough to even say that that's not an average Championship centre-back group for me. It's not good enough, in my opinion, because you know Ayala will get injured, you know Wharton will get injured. You're basically talking about Lenihan and Carter, and we saw that a few times, and it's certainly not Championship standard, in my opinion. I think you need at least more.
I think you can see that Harwood-Bellis is going to be a top-rate centre-half. You know, the Man City fans are seeing a lot in this player from what they've said, and I'd just like us to ride that wave with them a little bit. If he's a really good player in that, we're not going to be able to go out and spend loads on a centre-back and do it. So if we can somehow get Harwood-Bellis, here's a chance. Ooh.
Oh, both of them have missed it.
I mean, would we have a chance of getting Elliott, do you think, Josh? Do you think we could convince Liverpool to send Elliott to us again? I don't think we will. I can't see us getting Elliott next season, Josh, but let us know what you think.
So
this is the first passage of play we've had the ball for more than 10 seconds, I think. We're giving it away again.
Well, I mean, chance though.
God almighty.
Oh my God.
Do you want
I think I've got better touch than that.
Season of that?
Pay back my statement about Gallagher up top.
That was...
I think people have been slightly duped by Mowbray's statement this week around freezing loans. I think the way he framed it on paper sounds a lot worse than he framed it in person. It sounded like it could be similar to last year, but again, we're not talking about massive amounts of money. But yeah, I would just say.
And does that factor in the potential Armstrong sale?
Exactly. Yeah.
Holtby again. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. The ball could have gone 4 or 5 times there. He dithered and dithered and dithered, and he hasn't come away with it. He's just committed his second foul of the game, and he's probably going to pick up a yellow card.
Yeah.
Terrible from Holtby so far. He has as well, yellow card, and he deserves it. A poor foul on their left back around 5 minutes ago, and now another poor challenge. Shocking.
That's a challenge.
Really poor from Holtby, and he's made that challenge because he's frustrated at himself for giving the ball away yet again. Just not good enough for a player that's played Champions League football. He just doesn't look a class above. He's not worth the wage we're paying to him. And if we're talking about who should be renewed and who shouldn't, for me, it's
is
not
he out
worth
of contract at the end of the season? Excuse me.
Sorry?
Is he out of contract at the end of the season?
Yeah, well, I think there's a year's option, I think. And I wouldn't personally take it.
In fact, is Holtby the one without the option? Because Mowbray's talking about negotiations with...
All right, okay. Maybe. I wouldn't keep him personally.
Yeah, whether there was family reasons for not staying in England and things like that. Because obviously he's got a young kid now, I think. I don't know if they're over in Germany, but yeah, I don't know the situation around that.
So Wycombe have got a free kick here. It's halfway, or just about halfway into the Rovers half, going to be whipped in by Jacobson deep, and it's gone out of play. So Joe, if we can only own one, think it needs to be an attacker, Armour leaving, Dak out. I mean, yeah, I mean, based on today's evidence with Sam Gallagher and stuff, Josh, I think, you know, when you think what Swansea did with someone like Ryan Brewster and what Villa have done with Tammy Abraham, if there is that type of lone striker that we could get from the Prem, definitely. But I do agree with Joe. I think that the four you listed, it's not like, if I go back to your comment there, Wharton, Carter, Lenihan, Ayala, I don't know, there's something about that group of four that doesn't strike me with confidence either. I think I'd love Harwood Bellis in that group. So, yeah, we're going to have to be we're going to have to be clever with how we spend our money is the simple fact, isn't it? So if there isn't much of it, so we're going to have to get some good loans. Are you ruthless? This ruthless with your under 8s, Joe?
No. No, I'm not.
Nice sharp haircut, lads. Your mum must have that. Have you seen my hair? It's sticking out now at the side. I've not had a haircut since bloody December, Duncan. Swansea.
Ball. Ooh.
So you have to make doing lockdown, don't you? How long?
Yeah, Josh. I mean,
no, but it's not. But I don't think Harwood Bellis and Elliott is enough because we've got them both now, and it's not enough. And I don't think Elliott comes. So
I just think.
Isn't the root of this debate that we probably won't have enough to get in the top 6, whatever happens next season? That if we try and find a formula for it, I don't think we're going to find that formula because I don't think the finances will dictate that we can. So
I'm just erring on the side of, we started this season scoring goals and attacking wise this season. We have actually been very good, but the root cause of a lot of Rovers' problems over the last few years has been defensively. And for me, I just want us to get defensively sound and build from there, because ultimately I think that's what a lot of sides do in the Championship. You know, look at Norwich this season. They've addressed the defensive side of their game and running away with it now. So, you know, Mowbray can talk about possession and all these different bits and bobs all he wants, but I think we need to be a defensively sound setup first and foremost. So I would just err on the side of getting a good loan signing in with that group that you've got there, Josh, Wharton, Carter, Lenihan, Ayala, rather than the other attackers. Because, you know, it might be that Dan Butterworth comes in and makes an impact next season. It might be that there's someone else who does something for us. There's probably some people in that academy. I just prefer someone just to come into that group of 4 there.
Ball. Oh, chance. Big chance. 4 on 4.
Here we go. Rothwell out wide to Brio.
Chance.
Wide. Oh,
no! He was offside, I think.
Oh, he's offside. Absolutely scuffed his shot. I don't know what part. Where were we offside? With the first ping ball out?
With when it was 4 on 3 and the pass to the left.
Yeah, the pass from Rothwell just didn't go early enough.
Well, I just think Broughton went too early as well. It's just poor that.
Yeah, and he is right, Josh. This was this did feel like the chance to make the top 6, but you know, my mind's made up on the now. Absolutely made up on the manager.
With Armstrong gone and Dak out injured, next season, even if you had a really sizable budget, can you get that squad promoted? You need to sign a really good attacker. You need to sign a really good defender. You probably need a winger to feed said attacker because we don't have any. You know, I just don't think there's a manager that does get this team promoted. So you've got to, for me, you've got to try and do something different, which is what I wrote about a few weeks ago. Because I don't think the solution is, oh, well, a new manager would get enough out of this team because we're going to lose Armstrong. We've not got Dak. We've not got Harwood Bellis. I don't know. I think the best manager in the league would have this team maybe 10th.
But I do think the time has come for another manager to now have 3 or 4 years, like what Tony's had, to maybe get to a point.
This manager hasn't had 6 months on this job. He's had a good amount of time. You know, he's one of the longest serving managers in the league. Yep.
Here we go. Gallagher into the box. Shocking ball. So for those of you not watching, Gallagher had got into the... Oh! So a couple of chances there. So the first one, Gallagher had got into the box down the right-hand side and pulled it back to nobody. We did manage to get the ball back, and Rankin Costello's absolutely rasped a shot from about 30 yards, and the keeper spilt it a little bit, but, you know, it was a comfortable save, really. Sorry, Alex.
That's a fair point from Levier, actually.
I'm just going to say, I think a lot of people talk about the top 6 as a bit of a holy grail, and I would just say that in the 80s, we got in the top 6 time and time again and didn't make it. And I think what I think the fans want to see is just signs of the club pushing for promotion, like being in the hunt for promotion and trying to get out the league. I think...
But if being in the hunt costs so much money and then you don't get up, is it worth it?
I agree. The point I'm trying to make is non-financial, and I know it's probably impossible to divorce the financial from the league expectations, but the fact is that the highest we've finished since relegation is 8th, and I think fans are a little bit disappointed in that and want to feel like we're making progress, and I think that's where the frustration probably comes into it. But yeah, that's just my take on his work.
What you've said there, Alex, is why I want another manager to just have 3 or 4 years to build something, and B, we still have a fantastic production line out of that academy, don't we? Where we can just fill in players and sell players smartly, you know, all that type of stuff. And I do think another manager probably deserves a go at that now. You know, we're actually in a pretty good position actually for someone to come in and just really come in and make their stamp. You know, similar, you know, Leitmeyer man's put it here, Barnsley are proving that anything's possible no matter the quality of the on paper. Yeah. But actually,
it's a fair point.
And they've been set up for the last 4 years like this, Joe. They've had 4 managers in 4 seasons, I think, but they've had the philosophy off the pitch. You know, this is Barnsley, this is how we're going to do it. And Ismail is the one that's come in and used all of those tools and ultimately got where they are now. We could have a manager use the tools available at Rovers and start to get us higher up the league.
But I disagree with this comment, though, that if it's not worth it, we give up. What I mean is, finishing 8th or finishing 17th, there is no difference to us. I know we want to see signs of development, but is this side better than the side of 2015-16? No matter whether we finish ahead of where we finished that year or below, yes, in my opinion. I think we've moved on from there. But unless you finish in the top 6 or unless you actually get promoted, what's the point? You may as well finish 15th, spending a lot less money. And yes, that's boring. And I would rather win League One than watch that. But we would have to spend 25-30 million pounds, in my opinion, to make this squad a promotion-worthy team. We're talking about Barnsley. I don't think they're going to go up, are they? Really. I think there are enough teams better than them. They might get into the top 6, which is really impressive. But come the end of the season, they've achieved nothing more than Rovers have. You know what I mean? I wouldn't rather watch 𝐒𝐄𝐄𝐎𝐑𝐒 and Corey Evans in midfield and you know Jason Lowe's and Danny Guthrie's and personally. But if you would, then fine. I think we play much better football. Yes, we're not getting the results, and we do need a new manager who can perhaps get us out of this rut. But 14th, 5th, none of it matters unless you go up. The only difference is spending loads and loads of money every year and increasing and increasing and increasing the club's debt.
I think the club's debt will probably increase whatever we do if we want to stay in the Championship. I just can't see how we can run unless we sell one asset a year. I don't see how we can get the club into a situation where we run without a deficit, as it were, financially on a year-to-year basis without staying in this league. And then the issue is then if you get relegated, you lose more revenue, so you're not sustainable again. It's trying to strike that balance where you cut enough to make it sustainable, but you don't cut too much where you lose more revenue by getting relegated. And I don't think Rovers have done that too well over
No.
the last 10 years.
So this comment here, better players would much rather go to Barnsley if they finish top 6. But can they? But can they though? Because Barnsley, if they finish 6th, they're not financially better off, so they can't afford the wages. So, Lewis Holtby available on a free, for example, like he was when we got him, he's going to choose Rovers over Barnsley because we'll pay him £12,000 a week and Barnsley can't. And Barnsley can finish 6th all they want, but if they don't get promoted, come the next season, they're in the exact same league that we're in, and they're no better off financially than we are, because the difference between that position and 17th in terms of what you get in prize money is non-existent in this league.
But it feels like, for me, with what Barnsley have got off the pitch, like they'd be ready to go again a bit next season, a bit like what Brentford have done. Brentford have been a slow build up to where they are now, and I just want to feel like it's that with Rovers rather than falling off a cliff. We fell off a cliff after 2014-15, ultimately ended up getting relegated. I don't want that to happen again this season. I want to feel like, okay, let's end this season strongly. Let's end this season maybe thinking about next season, and then we can go again.
Oh my God, Holtby has just gifted a chance to WYCOMBE here.
Here we go.
Great defending from Tribal, though, and big chance for Rovers on the break. 3-on-3.
And it's going to be a corner for Rovers. So for those of you not watching, obviously we did just have a lot of discussion about Rovers there over the last kind of 7 to 8 minutes. There wasn't much going on in the game. Rovers have had a bit more possession. WYCOMBE certainly aren't coming at us as they were in the first portion of that game. Little sloppy moment there from Holtby that did lead to a WYCOMBE chance. We have just counter-attacked now and got a corner, which is going to be taken by 𝐒𝐍𝐒. It's going to be whipped in.
Good ball.
Ooh.
Oh, you've got to put that in.
Oh, Tribal. That would have been so good. He wasn't expecting that to come, I don't think. The corner was played in. And he just was not expecting that ball. It took him by surprise, and he's ultimately headed it over. Oh, I would have loved Tribal to score.
You've got to be anticipating that.
Yeah, you have. That's a defensive midfielder's header right there. Let us know what you think, Rovers fans, so far. Obviously, we were just discussing the future of the club a lot there, but let us know how you think the game's going. It's not been the best performance from Rovers. 𝐿𝐻𝑒, if you did want to catch the game, where's your comment? There we go. I follow if you're in the UK. If you're abroad, which I'm sensing you might be with your name, if there's anyone abroad who can help 𝐿𝐻𝑒 out, I don't know if it's like Be In Sports or other channels like that. I don't know if they've got it on. Excuse me. Chris, this game's missing Dolan. I mean, it's missing some directness, certainly, Chris. We've not really seen Joe Rothwell run at WYCOMBE. Joe Rankin-Costello's down injured. God. He looks a bit of pain.
He just got a kick to the face, didn't he? That's all.
It's looking like his left ankle, though. Certainly rotating his left ankle. But yeah, I think we're missing a bit of directness. Certainly. We've had a couple of counter-attacks, which 𝐒𝐍𝐿𝐻𝑒's been the one driving down the left. But you do wonder if it was Dolan just running. And I think someone made the point earlier up in the comments that it was the first time they'd seen Joe Rothwell in the game or forgot that he was playing.
Well, Rovers are going really direct and long balls, really. Every time we get it, we're going over the top to the front three. The midfield's non-existent, really. I think if Joe Rothwell was listening, his argument back would be that he can't run with the ball if he's not receiving it. And I don't really think we've played the ball into him at all today.
He had one run, didn't he? That I can think of. One surging run, that was it.
I'd say the 2 or 3 times we've actually given Rothwell the ball, he's run with it. I don't think we've seen him get the ball and pass it backwards once. He's just not received it, and that's not necessarily his fault. I think we're just playing over the top of him today, and that's probably coming from the manager more than anywhere else. I would like to see Buckley on for Holtby. Holtby's made 4 or 5 major mistakes in this game today, and he's on a yellow card now as well.
So I know that this gets a lot of discussion and debate. Does anyone know who does the shouting and the instructions to our players, because I think we all agree that this first 40 minutes has not been good. And this team are bottom of the table. They're going to get relegated, and they've had 4 home wins, 12 goals all season. This is not good enough for Rovers today. And Mowbray is sat on that bench. And now, if there is other people like Mark Venus or others barking the instructions, then that's fine. Tony can sit there. But who is the one geeing up our players today with this level of performance? Who's the one that does it? Because it does annoy me when you do see Mowbray just sat on the bench like that. Because you do know that other managers will be there. I know managers are different in their style and how they do things, but this, who is the one geeing us up? Joe Rankin-Costello looks like he's coming off here, Rovers fans. He's got its left ankle, I think, is the injury. So I'm assuming...
I think you'd rather him come off walking pretty comfortably than end up getting stretchered off if he carries on through it.
Yeah, so Ryan Nyambe,
a player of Nyambe's quality on the bench to be able to come on. I wish they could both just stay next season and fight for that position. I think it'd be great.
Yeah,
I know why.
When we're thinking about Dolan coming on and the lack of directness from Rovers today, maybe Nyambe can be the one to inject that a little bit into Rovers today. Let's see how he gets on. Get him driving down that right hand side.
Has Sam Gallagher had a successful touch today?
No.
Yeah, it's not been a good performance from Sam today. But he has this, doesn't he? When he starts games. Hey?
So get your boots, John. Drive down. If you speed,
we're coming up
to injury time.
Surely, ref.
You are watching. We are coming up to half time, just about to come up to the 43-minute mark. Let us know what you think in the comments about this first half performance. It's not been the best.
On your comments about Mowbray, I think I'd be more offended by that situation if when we were winning games, he was stood up and being really animated and praising and, but he doesn't. He's quite consistent with his philosophy of sitting down and letting them play, really. And if that's not your style, if you don't like that, then I understand that. But at least he doesn't stand up and kind of make himself known when we're winning.
So my question is just with a performance like this, who is the one letting the players know that the performance isn't acceptable? Where's that message?
It looked like Mark Venus, I think, but who knows? Ben Benson seems to give out the tactical instructions when players are coming on as subs, and he's the goalkeeping coach. But
yeah.
I better not comment on that, otherwise I get myself into trouble.
Which one? Go on, Alex. Give us some fun.
No, I'll just say on Mowbray that I agree with you, Ryan. It just looks a bit stale, doesn't it, for me? There's no inspiration there. I don't see a manager that's...
Oh, really well left there. Unlucky.
Yeah, I just don't see a manager that's inspiring this group of players. I could be wrong. They could really like him at the training ground and behind closed doors. Yeah. But for me, on a match day, I just don't see that manager inspiring that group of players. That's just my opinion.
I think I've just spotted on a camera angle there, Derek Williams is back running the line.
So 1 minute to go before half-time, Rovers fans. It's probably going to be about 4 minutes of injury time minimum when you consider the injuries to 𝐒𝐏𝐻𝐒 and to Rankin-Costello, who have both been down and getting treatment. So we're probably going to get to the 50-minute mark, possibly here.
What would you change at half-time?
Definitely Dolan. I've just not seen enough directness from Rovers today. I think the last 15, 20 minutes, WYCOMBE have sat back more and we've got more possession. We need to just go at them a bit more. This WYCOMBE side are not going to counter-attack us. They're not. So let's just get Nyambe down that right-hand side, get Dolan running at them, try and get Rothwell somehow on the ball to inject a bit of life into our play, because what we're doing at the moment, trying to put these balls into Gallagher, it's not sticking, and we're just not building from there.
6 minutes.
6, yeah.
So 𝐒𝐿𝐍𝐒 is complaining that he's been elbowed by Darragh Lenihan.
They're still going at it. If you look where they are. He's got his hand up. Piazza is right on that far side. So it's been lumped in, headed away by Lenihan. Ooh.
Who would you say is the main in this team in terms of being a leader on the pitch?
I've been Lenihan's biggest critic in terms of leadership over the course of the season, but I actually do think over the last few games, Lenihan has visibly been the leader, and so I'm not criticising him for that anymore. But Lenihan can't be the only one.
Go on. Chance. Oh, go on.
Holtby.
Holtby.
He's end product. He's so bad end product wise.
Wycombe have just somehow got it away. I think the only other person who I can see leading this side, Alex, is Tom Tribal. He's the only one who's visibly ordering people about, saying, you go there. He's the only other one I see doing leadership in our side.
Where are the options for Tribal and Lenihan here? There's nobody showing themselves for a pass there. Oh, what?
Side again.
Why would he shoot from there? What?
He was offside. For those of you not watching, it was a ball clipped over the top into the channel, and Gallagher hit it on the half volley straight at the keeper, but it was offside in the end.
Do you want to see that for a season? I think we'd score less goals than Wycombe have this season.
I just don't understand why it's him in the crossing position. Surely Gallagher should be in the middle as a big 6'4", 6'3" bloke waiting for a cross, not be the one crossing it. Doesn't make any sense.
Keep it in, keep it in. There we go. Good ball.
Come on, get there.
Elliot, into the box. Yes.
One.
Slipped over. We still got it.
Jesus Christ. This has been dreadful in terms of final delivery.
If you're not watching, it was a great ball from Brio out to the right. Elliot managed to just keep it in play and then drive down that right and then pull it into the box, but we just couldn't get our foot on the end of it or fashion the chance, and the chance is gone.
It's been so poor quality-wise in the final third, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Great stuff from Tribal. Ref, yellow card. That's got to be a yellow. That's terrible. It's really poor sportsmanship. That Holtby had already got past him. He was on the floor and he's lashed out with his foot from a sitting position. That's a yellow card, in my opinion. I don't think there's any need for it. That's a yellow card.
Yeah, that's a yellow card, 100%.
Mm.
You know, if that foot goes any higher, you're talking about a red card. He's not trying to get the ball. The free kick's already being given.
Just trying to stop him, isn't he?
Yeah, terrible.
So 2 minutes left to go of the 6 added on. A few
Nice
little
from
signs from Rovers, but
When
Wycombe
he has got it, I think he is running with it.
Yeah, Wycombe have visibly sat back more now. You know, we've not seen the Wycombe from the first 20 minutes if you're not watching the game. So this is the type of game I was expecting. I did not expect the Wycombe we saw in the first 20 minutes. This is what I thought we'd see.
Fucking hell. Sorry. Shouldn't swear. Really poor.
Oh. McCarthy had some burst of pace there to cross that in ahead of Douglas. He's at least 10 yards behind him, I think.
Kaminski must be thinking, what the hell am I doing here after being in that Belgium squad, honestly.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne or Lewis Holtby?
Yeah.
Here we go. Can he get Elliot? Here we go. It's
in the
similar
ball.
ball out to the right.
Oh.
Elliot pulls it back. Brio!
Oh.
If ever you want a chance to sum up a half for Rovers, it is right there. So Elliot has done fantastic again. He's burst of pace, kept the ball in on that right-hand side, pulled it back for Brio, penalty spot area, and he's just
Be honest, Alex, as that ball was coming to Brio then, did you expect anything other than what we just saw? Because I could vision that coming. That is his career in a nutshell at Rovers.
That's me
Absolutely.
on the first.
Oh, God. That just sums up the first half right there, Rovers fans. Absolute spoon of a shot there from Brio, unfortunately.
That's what 7 million gets you today.
Oh, dear. So Wycombe are going to try. Are they going to get a cut? Yes, they're going to get
Oh, my God. That's never a corner. That's terrible refereeing. It comes straight back off him.
Alex, you covered.
Come on.
You covered on the 1875 podcast, Alex, just how Rovers fans don't appeal for things and don't do what Swansea do. That discussion was really good. You know, when you're getting around the ref and stuff like that. That was it again, wasn't it? Why is Nyambe not screaming at the ref right there, saying, "What are you doing?"
Again, it goes into the lack of leadership, doesn't it? And that gamesmanship that gets you those marginal decisions that can win you a game. And it's half time.
Half time. Just there, Nyambe just accepted it. He clearly knew that it was not a corner. Why is he not letting the ref know? You know, just put that little moment of doubt in the ref's head. So the next one he gives, he's not going to give a decision like that. So I thought on the podcast, I thought you were all bang on with what you were saying about Rovers and just we don't do that side of the game very well. So it is half-time, Rovers fans. Not the best half from Rovers by any stretch. Certainly in the final third, we have been very, very poor. Wycombe certainly came at us in the first 20 minutes. We're trying to make things happen and try and surprise us a little bit. But they visibly sat back for the second half of that first half. And we've not really hurt them or taken advantage of that in any way, shape or form. So Alex, you know, just sum up your thoughts at half-time.
Oh, wow. I think it's probably a continuation of much of 2 or 3 months. I think you don't really know with the Rovers from one game to the next what type of performance you're going to get. I think that's probably why we've ended up where we are in the league table. I would say that I think we were a little bit shocked by the way Wycombe started the game. I don't think we expected that at all. I thought we played like we were shell-shocked in a way. I think towards the end of the half, we got a little bit more of the ball, but, you know, the end product's been desperately, desperately poor. Giving the ball away in bad areas, giving the ball away under no pressure. And I would say that, you know, to sum up the half, you know, we've had one shot on target, and that was Rankin Costello's speculative effort from outside the box. So, yeah, I think that probably sums up the half.
Well, how many times has Elliott had the ball on the right wing, just inside the box, pulls it back for somebody? I'd say maybe 4 times. And we've had Holtby miss a chance, Brereton scuff a chance, Douglas just falling over, Gallagher miscontrolling one. It's like, I feel bad for Harvey Elliott because he's been the only outlet today. He's getting the ball nice and direct, getting into great positions, receiving the long ball, great touch, finds a ball into the box, and we waste it. We've had infinitely more chances than Wycombe, but we're not actually making them look like chances because it's just that final product. Holtby, if he plays a pass slightly earlier, we're in. Rothwell through to Brereton. Brereton ends up being offside because we wait just that bit too much longer to play that pass through. You know, so frustrating. We're currently playing really direct. We're not playing with a midfield. We're bypassing it completely. The defence is just playing long balls over the top to a very high and wide front three, and it's not working. We should get Buckley on, pack the central midfield, and play through this poor Wycombe side. You know, Buckley, Rothwell, Holtby, and Tribal should be able to play through this Wycombe team. Why we're going over the top, I don't know, without Armstrong on the pitch.
Absolutely. And just Liam's point here, you know, with what we've seen from Gallagher and Brio in this half, is there actually any harm now, Alex, in Butterworth or McBride getting a start? You know, you see sides do this all the time, whatever level. You know, when you get towards the end of the season, that's when you start bringing your youngsters through. Actually, is there any harm now in Butterworth and McBride getting a start and getting a
Sam
chance?
Burns.
And Sam Burns. Like, what is the harm in it now? What is the harm?
Well, you watched, and I know there's a little bit of recency bias having just watched the last 45 minutes. You know, if Gallagher had scored 2, we'd be saying we're all set for next season. So I think I try and take it not in a fickle fashion, but I don't see how you can say they can't do it at this level until you give them the chance to do it at this level. Tyrese Dolan was given a chance in a pre-season friendly, and so many months later he's still in the squad. So it's about the young players being given the chance and then them taking that chance. I think Mowbray has said in the local media this week that that the opportunity will be provided to some of the younger players in the last few games to show what they're worth this side. But once again, it's throwing these young players in a dysfunctional side that's not really playing, to me, like any sort of plan or any sort of structure at the moment. So it is difficult for them. What I would say is that if they do get a chance, I hope they play very well. The concern I have, though, is that the amount of bodies that we're losing in the summer means that there's the temptation just to plug the gaps with academy players. And I think we've done that before, certainly before the relegation season to League One, where you saw like Willem Tomlinson and players like that get more involved. It's not bad per se, but if you want to plug all of the gaps with those sorts of players, I don't think you can expect anything other than a treading water season when they learn their trade, because under 23s football is just so much different than championship football. You get bullied around the pitch. It's much.
What you've got, though, what we're saying, one of them might take the chance. I mean, you've got Jack Vale, Conor McBride, Sam Burns, Luke Brennan, and Sam Durrant. There's more, but just take those 5. If you gave all 5 of those guys a game, one of them would take the Bulls by the horn. Take the bull by the horn, and kick on. One of those 5 would be good enough. 4 of them might look dreadful, and you might say, look, it's not his level. But one of them, just like Dolan, will come in and we'll go, wow, where's he been all season? Surely,
let's play.
We've got an academy, a Cat 1 academy, 1 out of 5. So, 20% chance one of them's going to succeed. You've just got to throw them in there. Luke Brennan's made 1 substitute appearance this season. He played in pre-season against Fleetwood, that same game as Tyrese Dolan, and he got himself a goal. Where's Luke Brennan's chances been? He's been thrown out on loans. Jack Vale's been thrown out on loan. You've got Butterworth, Burns, McBride, Brennan, Vale, Durrant. There's so many players there. One of them's going to make it. Throw them in.
I think the one criticism I'd have of our academy is I think our loaning out of younger players has been dreadful in terms of we've not given them the loan deals for them to play games and to play enough games to improve all the time. And
Joe Grayson at Oxford at the minute.
Again, another one. And I think it gets to the stage where you have to take matters into your own hands and say, we'll play them and see if they're good enough and see if they can make it. So, we'll see what happens for the remainder of this season, won't we?
And if we're not going to do it in games where they are dead rubbers and there's no pressure on them, then when are we going to? And we've all spoken today and we've spoken in previous weeks about the fact that we're not going to have that much money to spend in the summer. The academy is a big part of our financial future. And if we're not going to use these players and use that academy at this point of the season, then when are we bloody going to do it? Exactly. So I want to see these players. I really do. I'd love it. Joe's absolutely right. One of them will turn it on like Tyrese Dolan did. He saw an opportunity. He's not daft. He would have seen Sam Gallagher was getting pelters last season. He would have seen that Ben Brio was getting pelters last season in those positions. He's come in and gone, bang, I'm going to make that position my own. And some of these other lads will as well. Conor McBride, watching this today, looking at Sam Gallagher receiving that ball and doing what he's doing up front, he must be looking at that and thinking, yeah, I could do better than him. And that's what you want. You want these young lads just actually causing problems for the players who are in the side at the moment and create that squad competition. I want to see them. I really do. Let us know what you think, Rovers fans. But looking at the comments, Ollie was that bored of the game, literally fell asleep for the last 10 minutes. I'm really sorry. Simon, might turn over and watch Leeds v Cass. Oh, no. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. Jared is legit medically sick and this game isn't helping. Michael, where's the drive and expression? And I think this is what I was talking about with Mowbray sat on the bench and stuff earlier on, Michael. It's just where's that? No worries, mate. Where's that? Where's the source of that coming from, Michael? Who's the one who's doing that drive and expression? Because as John says here, oh, sorry, this one, I like Tribal's leadership. Tribal and Lenihan are the only two that I can see really lifting that side at the moment. So where is that coming from? Alex, we've got a question from Michael. Serious question. Does Mowbray really have faith in the academy?
I think that's a good question. I think he does. I think I'd like, everyone knows my thoughts on Mowbray. They're well documented. But I would say that of the managers, since I've been supporting Rovers, I think Mowbray's probably blooded more young players than any other manager that we've had in that time. Maybe it's because of his longevity at the club. It's allowed him to blood more youngsters. But, ranking Costello, Lewis Travis, they're just two that jump straight off the tongue in terms of players that he's developed and brought into the first team. So I would say that he's been better than previous managers have. But I think as well, you've got to accept that Mowbray's been afforded the luxury of millions of pounds in the transfer market when perhaps previous managers haven't been. And I think Mowbray has found time for the younger players, particularly at the end of seasons. But yeah, I think there's still scope for improvement, particularly, as I said, with our loan deals out to clubs lower down the pyramid in terms of getting our young players game time. But yeah, I think I don't have many things you could criticise Mowbray for. I don't think blooding academy players would be one of them. I think he has, to be honest, done as much as probably any other manager would have, unless it was written in the contract of the manager that he had to play so many youth players. But yeah, I don't think I can criticise Mowbray for that.
Wissenlander from the US and listening along to your commentary sounds dreadful. Would like to see some of the academy lads myself. Yeah, I'd like to see them. And Wissenlander, I've not seen your name on here before. Let us know where in the US you're from. We've got a few US viewers, people like Dalford Deuce and Jared, Forest City from Ohio as well. So let us know where in the US you are. Yeah, Michael, season ended in February. Now is the time, absolutely. So, Joe, substitution-wise then, we're not far off the second half starting now. What do you want to see for this second half? We've spoken about the academy lads just there. Sadly, they're not on the bench. So we've got to go with what we've got on the bench today. I think Dolan seems like a pretty obvious one, doesn't it? Just to inject something into this game. Is there anyone else?
I wouldn't do Dolan yet for me. I think we've got enough of that on the pitch with Elliott. It's Buckley that I'd get on. I want to see Johnson as well. We talked about passion and drive and leadership, and Johnson provides that in abundance for me. So I would like to see, Rothwell, Elliott, Buckley, Johnson, Tribal on the pitch. So I'd probably bring off a Gallagher and a Holtby for a Buckley and a Johnson. I'd play Brereton through the middle. You can put Rothwell and Elliott either side of that. You've got Tribal, Johnson and Buckley in midfield. That's what I would do. And I would stop trying to play over the top without Armstrong on the pitch, and I'd play through the middle of midfield because we've got the quality, technically, to play through this Wycombe side. And unfortunately, Holtby's on a yellow card and performing badly. I'd like to see John Buckley get a return into the team.
Yeah, Alexander's agreeing with you there. I think we said it before the game, didn't we? That the Buckley, it was really harsh that he didn't find himself in the starting lineup today. So Alexander definitely agreeing with you on Buckley. Christopher, I'd take Brio off for Dolan.
Did you show this, by the way, mate?
Oh, no, I did it. Oh, sorry. Let me have a look. Dizzy, in the man cave as usual. Good time for a tidy up. Thanks all. Dizzy, love that. Absolutely love that. What time is it where you are now, Dizzy? Must be about, 1 in the morning? 2 in the morning, I think. But we'll see. Wissenlander from Virginia, bit south of Washington, D.C. Recently found your Rovers fan for around 20 years. Brad Friedel brought me in and I never left. Yeah, I wonder how many American Rovers fans have stuck with Rovers because of Brad Friedel. That's a really interesting one. What else? 2 a.m. Oh, God, Dizzy. I really hope we win this because it's 2 a.m. where you are. Just, I don't even know if you do it with alcohol, Dizzy, just to make it a bit more fun and bearable. But
can I just ask, are all our American fans pretty much the same in that Friedel kind of got you in, and that's how you're here now, or are there any other stories as to why we've got American Rovers fans besides Friedel? I know quite a few of the New York City Rovers lot had kind of said about Brad Friedel, but I'm just interested to know if perhaps do we know Forest City? But yeah, if it's Friedel, that would be that'd be cool. Oh, there you go then. Saw Rovers playing a friendly at RFK Stadium back in 2003. Was on the actual pitch for the whole game. Didn't even know who Friedel was. Oh, there you go then. Fair enough.
Right, Joe, I'm temporarily handing the reins on to you whilst I do my rotation.
Okay, dokie. Well, the players are on the way back out. I've seen pretty much everyone. With Nyambe coming on for JRC, you'd probably expect us to not make any subs. I can't really tell at this stage. Holtby's coming back out. Gallagher's coming back out. Sorry to everyone who was hoping that might not be the case. Oh, where is this? Just waiting for the Wycombe team. The referee's in the middle, ready to go. I like the Tom Tribal haircut as well. I think he looks a better player with that hair like that as well. What do you reckon, Alex?
So I wonder if, oh yeah, mate. Footballers' haircuts, they seem to be doing quite well in the lockdown. I wonder if any spurious activity's been going on.
Oh, that's a fair point. Jermaine Jones as well. We've had a couple of Americans then. Fell in love with the game then, and then found out how similar Blackburn and Cleveland are. Smaller, blue collar, hard-working towns. Been lower. Oh, that's a great comment there. I love that. Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, we're just kicking off now. But yeah, personally, it's great to hear from fans around the world because, you know, even with the crisp delivery from Jared, it's different cultures are just fascinating, and to see that we've got Blackburn Rovers support all around the world is great. And just as I speak, we get this one. So yeah, it's brilliant to see that kind of support from around the world, and we love hearing your stories.
Is that from Pune by any chance?
Hope his haircut makes him look more German. Yeah, he does look more German recently. Tom Tribal looks Scandinavian or something at the minute. Like he's going to play guitar around a campfire for us or something.
Does Ben Brereton's haircut make him look Chilean?
Everything about Ben Brereton is Chilean, of course. From his Stoke heritage to his haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, poor from Douglas.
You know what this game is set up for as well. I'm going to say it just because we can't get any lower.
Adebayo. Oh, dear.
Oh, did that hit the crossbar? Yes, that is what I was thinking, Joe.
That was Mehmeti there as well. Really good turn. Really good strike. Takes a deflection.
I think you
deflected wide.
Hey?
Hey?
I think you guys are a few seconds in front of me. Sorry.
No problem. I'll pause for a sec.
Yeah, just wait for the timer to come up. I don't know what. They're still showing the 500.
45, 46, 47, 48.
Yeah, you're a few seconds in front. 2 or 3 seconds.
Jacobson's
Okay.
going to win the goal. There and it's goal. Goal for Wycombe.
Oh,
sorry, Alex. You were ahead of us there. Jacobson, brilliant corner, and it looks like it's a header 6 yards out. Wycombe's game plan absolutely alive now. Get the goal. They're going to sit back now. Brilliant corner. Brilliant corner. Right onto the... Is it Onyedinma? I can't tell who it is.
Might be, yeah, I think so.
I mean, great corner. Great corner. Is it Onyedinma? I think it's Onyedinma, number 23, is it?
Yeah, it is, I think.
I've got no idea who lost them.
So who are we playing on Monday?
Bournemouth, innit, I think.
Great.
1 win from 12, lads. This is great.
We'll pause on
against bottom of the league Wycombe on 27 points.
We'll pause on 50 minutes. Hang on, Joe. 50. Pause on 50. 50. 48. I meant. Whoops.
Oh, hang on. 48, 6, 7, 8.
What are you on, Alex?
9, 10.
I'm 4 seconds behind, so I'm on 10 now.
Right, well, I'll pause. Tell me when you reach 15.
Now.
Right, bro.
Sorry,
as I was saying, do you think that against bottom of the league Wycombe, who are on 27 points, that a loss here could genuinely be the end of Mowbray? I think at any club, surely a loss to bottom of the league like this would signal the end of your tenure.
There has been... I mean, I'm for this, by the way, that getting rid of the manager now, creating the vacancy now, and giving someone the chance to eyeball the squad now could really help us going into next season. And the way that we've played today and the level of performance today just really tells me he's getting nothing out of this squad at the moment. So for me, it just brings forward that decision more. Let's do it. What is the worst that could possibly happen now? Sorry, Alex. I think I spoke over you.
No, you didn't, Ryan. I think we're in the situation once again, though, where we've got an unsackable manager that isn't getting the most out of a squad. And I think that's just a really concerning thing for the relationship between the fans and the club again. Because when we've got into that situation before, it's not ended very well for just general relations and the mood around the club. So I just hope that the decision's made now to stop it getting toxic. But you know, I've been public on my opinions on the manager. I wanted him sacked before the international break. I would have sacked him 3 weeks ago so we could have had a new manager in by now. Or given the caretaker guy until the end of the season. But
I've got a graphic for you here. I've just managed to find out. It was uploaded around a week ago. And this is Rovers' expected and actual goals for and against in time periods. And you look at that before and after half-time section. And then you look at where the goal today has come from. And it all starts to make sense, doesn't it? What was it? 47th minute goal for Wycombe. See that those periods, those 2 periods around the half-time break, were massively underperforming.
It makes you question what's said at half-time and how that translates onto the football.
It's the before half-time one that's worrying. Why are we so scared of half-time arriving? Is that how poor the half-time team talk is?
And it's quite funny because I actually thought in the League One season in particular, we used to get a really good response out of the side after half-time, actually. You know, we had those games where we might have been 1-0 down at Ewood Park to a side or, you know, not quite playing. And we did invariably get the job done in the second half. But we're so far from that now.
Yeah, we're so far away from the mood around the club and the mentality of the squad at that time and everything that went with it. But I think what I would say about the League One season is that the quality of our squad in comparison to the rest of the league was so great a gulf that it was very difficult to prevent us from getting the 90-odd points that season, which we got in the end, didn't we? But yeah.
Yeah. So just going to look at some of the comments. I mean, Dizzy, FFS, Game Over, David Stewart, Taxi for Mowbray, he's limited, Barfly, Ollie, are we really losing to this dross? What does Tony have to do?
Oh my God.
𝐂𝐄𝐄𝐈𝐄, let's all be honest, he needs to go. He does need to go, 𝐂𝐄𝐄𝐈𝐄, and as Alex said, I don't want this to get toxic. But if this carries on for the next few games, it is unfortunately going to wind the fans up. And
the thing that's confusing me is that we've come back after the international break, and it seems like people have expected things to be different than what they were in the last 2 months. I mean, I think me and Ryan called for, and I think Joe, even you've been pretty clear on this, that we'd rather a different manager be in place now for weeks. You know, it's not. Yeah. This isn't anything new, is it? Really?
And I tell you what, right? This tells me everything I need to know. I think leap year, you've been so measured with your comments through the season, and probably, you know, not actively called for Tony's head or anything like that. I think you've been really measured all season. If leap year's making comments like this, that says a lot to me. You know, we've all been on various parts of the spectrum with Mowbray this season, but if leap year's now recognizing this as well, that says a lot to me. So I've really respected your opinion all season, leap year. Been really measured. I think you're right. There is a real risk now that we do fall off a cliff going into next season if we're not careful.
Are we not already falling?
Yeah.
Have we already fallen off the cliff? This is offside.
And that's the thing, like, and this happened, it happened, didn't it? Like, I can't remember what the exact, what was it, between Bowyer and Lambert? Is that when we started to fall off a cliff? When did we fall off a cliff last time? But the echoes are there. The echoes are absolutely there. When you think of that squad that we had with Rhodes and Gestead and Kearney and Conway and Marshall and all those people, we've got the names you could reel off now in this squad. Albeit some of them are injured, but Elliott, Armstrong, Dak, Rothwell, you know, we've got the same similar types of names.
I think the comment about being careful what you wish for was absolutely right, because if 1 win in 13, presuming we don't win today, which I think is a reasonable assumption, considering our record going a goal down, you know, 1 win in 13, that's not be careful what you wish for. That's 3 or 4 wins in a 46-game season.
Yeah.
That's not
be careful what you're willing to stand still for.
Yeah. That's got beyond being careful what you wish for. That is in sackable territory, and I think we'd all agree on that.
I mean, this is 𝐒𝐿𝐍𝐒's 5th, 6th foul of the game now for the exact same thing. I know that we're past caring because we're losing, but he should be on a yellow card by now, just to keep up running commentary on this game. Good ball from Elliott.
Sorry, I was muted. This comment from Duncan is really interesting. And you can't argue with it.
Chance. Oh.
We'll just get
still going.
Douglas.
Oh, poor delivery. Story of the season.
But when you look at how the likes of Chapman and Carter and others are playing, look at the way some of the play. Like, it's an interesting point.
Chance. Oh, Rothwell. Oh, Jesus. Well, and that's why Nyambe has not been getting in the side over Joe Rankin-Costello, because he's so readable. He has one skill and he's just tried it again and it's failed miserably. So difficult that he's out injured now as well. I really hope that's not long term.
It didn't look it. I think it looked like a bit of a knock or a banjo. It didn't look like a.
Yeah, I hope so. Definitely
it looked like he wanted to try and go on it, certainly.
He looked to be walking pretty freely to me.
Dolan and Downing to come on.
Tony still sat on that bench. I don't know why. It's just particularly winding me up today. I don't know why.
I'd happily have the management team moved out and have Stuart Downing run it as a player manager till the end of the season. If you don't want to spend the money right now on a new manager, doesn't matter to me. I just think they need to do something to get out of this stale run that we're in. Yeah. Just have somebody else take control.
So Downing has come on for Lewis Holtby. I think everyone can agree that it's not been Holtby's best game by any stretch today. And Ben Brereton is the other one who's gone off and Tyrese Dolan is on. So we'll see positionally where that's going to shift people. But WYCOMBE are coming forward now. Ooh.
And the main defence of I don't want to spend all day talking about this debate, but the main defence from the Ryan Nyambe camp of the Nyambe Rankin Costello debate is how much better he is defensively than Joe Rankin Costello. But for me, not enough is done there to stop that ball coming in. It's shadowing and shadowing and shadowing and shadowing, and the ball still comes across really dangerous. I don't see the difference, mate.
It's not exactly Rovers pushing for an equaliser here, is it?
No.
And it's just similar stuff again, isn't it, Alex? When we go a goal down, there's just that complete lack of response. It's going to be another corner now for Wycombe. Exactly the same tactic. Jacobson's going to whip that in near post. Thankfully, it was a poor delivery. But Dolan's going to have the chance now. Straight away, Dolan, trying to do something. That's just something.
To answer that question, no. And if you are in any way, in any hope that you are someone who is like some kind of Venky plant who's interested in finding out what the fans think, no, we've no chance at the current rate. We really don't. I'm sure you're not, but just in case. Or if anybody who is involved at the club is watching and wants to know what we think, it's clear what we think at this stage, isn't it?
Yeah. And Josh, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. 10 points off the drop is on the assumption that Rotherham won't get one win from the 4 games in hand that they do have on Rovers at this point in time. So it's likely to be 8 points off the drop if they were to do that. That would shove Birmingham into the bottom 3. Need to look at what some of the latest scores are, actually. What's going on?
That guy is just to let you know, we do want Mowbray to be sacked, just so that's clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And it needs to be immediate. I mean, I said that a few weeks ago, that doing it before the season finishes is a really wise thing to do. And Alex, you were very vocal around it being the international break. That's perfect. You've got the 2-week free window. It absolutely needs to be now. We need to give the new manager every chance of success. We can't be having like all the contractual situations, blah, 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 hanging over the new manager coming in and having to sort all that crap out. You know, it needs to happen now so that decisions are taken on players and the new manager knows what he's got. Here's a chance. Gallagher. Oh, my days.
No, the final ball is just not good enough, is it? The final ball has been shocking all game.
So Gallagher here had a great chance. You know, he's driving down the right-hand side, literally just needs to pull that ball, and he's just absolutely topped it. He's basically miskicked it straight into the keeper's hands, and it was not good. Not good at all.
Has Gallagher's tried today come off in any way?
No.
If you're Ben Brio, you're thinking, why have I been taken off? Oh, dear.
But the thing about Gallagher's performance, it's not even one shot, not one header, not one pass, not one cross has gone where it's supposed to go. Just terrible.
Yeah.
That ball needed to go so much earlier than it did. That was Stuart Downing that time. Just like Holtby in the first half, that ball just waited and waited and waited. And the final ball into the box today, every cross has been cut off by a Wycombe man. From like Douglas, from Rothwell, from Downing, from Gallagher, from Elliott. The balls across just aren't good enough into the box. And it's why we really need Harry Pickering.
We've just been saved anyway by Millwall taking the lead against Rotherham. So that's
great. Bloody hell.
Tells you how our season's going, looking at that game.
I know. I'm just looking at the other results. Sheffield Wednesday are losing. Coventry are losing. Preston are losing. Rotherham are losing. Derby and Forest are winning. So teams in and around us are losing.
Oh, there's a grimmer injury here.
Joe,
that's just terrible. That's worse than the scoreline. That
we've not had one yet today. It was needed. Yeah, it does look grimmer. It does. Luke would have loved that. God bless him.
Hopefully he's doing all right with his DIY, his garden DIY, which is probably much better than our experiences at the moment.
Absolutely. If West Ham in top 4, we also get promotion. Now I'm desperately hoping you aren't the Venkies. Is that, yeah, all right. We're not good enough and we need to be better and we need a new manager. We really do.
Joe, you know a lot about this, don't you? I know we did a chat on Brexit and changes. Are those currently in effect?
Oh, God, I don't know on managers. That's a difficult one. Brexit doesn't make work permits harder. It makes it different. So, like, certain countries and certain divisions become more difficult to buy from, and other countries become infinitely more easy to buy from. So it's not worse currently now with Brexit and stuff. It's just different. Yes, there are different rules on managers too, but I don't really know the ins and outs of it. But again, it's still plausible to have a foreign manager. Just depends where they come from and what experiences they've got.
If you did want to sync up with me, Joe, and Alex, we are coming on 64 minutes now. 64, 01, 02, 03,
really?
04, 05.
I'm ahead of you.
Are you?
Hit your live button.
I'm in line with Ryan.
I'm like 15 seconds ahead of you.
Pause it on 60. Pause it on 64:30, and then I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm on 64:30.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. There we go. Good job I did that. I had a sixth sense. So, unfortunately, Rovers fans, we're not seeing much of a response from Rovers after going 1-0 down. Where have we heard that before? This was my fear today, that Wycombe would get the goal and then sit back, which is why I thought it would be a low-scoring affair. But, days.
The way we've played into Wycombe's hands today has just been criminal. I mean, from the tactics of going long from the beginning of the game to giving away that first goal and, again, not responding to going a goal down. It just worries me how the side looks a shadow of themselves for 20-odd minutes after conceding a goal. It just shows me there's maybe a lack of confidence there. I just don't know what it is. We just don't seem back straight away from conceding a goal. It happens every week.
Yeah. Alexander gets an applause for that comment. Love that. And then, yes, Scott, this is frustrating. We did give Norwich a decent game. You know, look at how we played against top of the league, and now look how we're playing against bottom of the league. It just doesn't make sense.
Because I think for Rovers, it's never about who we're playing. It's about who we are on the day, and we're so hot and cold.
Here goes Rothwell on a run, though. Ooh, did that get deflection out? Yeah, so Rothwell, first drive that we've really seen from him. He's earned Rovers.
See, I disagree with that, Ryan, mate. I really disagree with that. I think Rothwell's done that run so many times in this half, in my opinion. I think it's more than his first drive today. I think he's done really well on the left.
Is the first one that's really resulted in something, Joe, is what I really meant. He's tried, but it's the first one that really resulted in something happening. I was just laughing at him kicking the corner as he hit that ball, though.
And Wycombe are halfway into our half after our corner. I mean,
who could you bring on now that's left on the bench, really, that's going to change this game in any tangible way?
Buckley, isn't it? Is he the only one? Buckley? In the hope that he sometimes just somehow does something in the midfield area that unlocks someone else.
I love that from Duncan.
Yeah, give him a call.
Start it and Rich wouldn't join in. What do you reckon?
Give him a call.
I reckon Richard film him and go, "What a plonker."
So, Rovers fans, and then I'll ask Joe and Alex as well. If we do lose this game, does Mowbray survive this? One win in 13?
He shouldn't, but he probably will, won't he? It's just ridiculous.
He will survive. He shouldn't. He should have been gone weeks ago. But he's an unsackable manager now, in my opinion. Which is very, very dangerous.
Jesus.
He certainly spoke in the midweek in terms of the recruitment, like he expected to be here in the summer.
Joe's we need our friend �WYCOMBE back.
No.
Just to wind you up.
Just give me something to enjoy. I know I've not even been able to get my blocker out and enjoy getting rid of knowledge.
Would �WYCOMBE type 1-1 or 2-0?
I think he'd type 2-0. That would hit me more.
I agree.
Because 1-1, if we do get an equaliser, the reaction will be right. It's not going to be come on, because I don't care. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
a draw is absolutely nothing against this team.
Agreed.
In some ways, I would rather us lose if it means that the manager goes, but it won't. So I suppose I would rather us get the draw. Is that really bad? Maybe it is. Maybe that's terrible for me to say as a supporter, but a draw means absolutely nothing to us today against Wycombe.
But we're in Steve Keane territory, aren't we? Where if we lose, we hope we get tonked so that it makes the manager more likely to be sacked. And that's the sad thing, isn't it, at the minute about Rovers?
And I feel dreadful saying that, but it is genuinely how it feels at this stage.
So the only thing I'll say, Joe, on the draw meaning nothing is just when you're looking at the league table, and I know that you've said this before. So before the game, let me make one thing clear. We should be beating Wycombe Wanderers. Let me make that perfectly clear. But actually, with the way the results are going today and the fact that Rotherham are now losing, another point is another point closer to safety, which I know is not the way we want to be talking, but actually a point would just put that all completely to bed, so that if we were going to sack the manager, we were going to play the likes of McBride and other players like that, it puts the relegation story to bed, doesn't it? And maybe things might happen that we want to see.
Ollie's right. If Nyambe got an equaliser, I would celebrate it. I'll give him that.
Or Kaminski.
Yeah, what about Tribe?
I didn't say that one because it's just not going to happen, but it's probably just as likely as an Nyambe equaliser, isn't it?
It's going to be 1-1 Kaminski equaliser. It's happening.
Yeah. If you gave me £1 and a chance to put a bet on, I'd put it on Kaminski over Ryan. I'd helicopter down the street. You have to film it. That's the only the catch to that one, Chris. Here comes John Buckley now, finally.
Is he taking Elliott?
It's Harvey Elliott, because that's what we need.
No, it's Tribal.
Oh right, I thought Harvey Elliott. I think he's still going off, Harvey Elliott. Is he not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnson's on as well.
Bradley Johnson.
We have now got more defensive-minded players on the pitch than what we started the game with.
This guy has totally lost the plot.
And now we've got John Buckley up front as a false 9. What?
Happy Easter, everyone! Yay!
I think this is a new law, guys. I don't know about you, but
it's funny, this one. So, some of them aren't funny. Some of them I really get depressed and I can't cope with watching it. This one's actually quite comical.
Because it's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Wycombe staff. They're stood around absolutely pissing themselves when it zooms in on them. They're just laughing. They're having a whale of a time because they've got no worries at all.
They were laughing when they scored the goal because they knew that the game was sealed then.
Yeah, they did. They were practically celebrating the win at 1-0 because they could.
He's still sat down.
Still sat down.
Oh, my word.
We don't look like having a shot, never mind a goal.
Should we talk about Easter eggs?
No. No, I'm joking. Sorry, go on.
You know it's bad when Joe don't want to even talk about confectionery.
No, Bruno. If you're waiting for us to get a goal, cash out. Oh, look. Ryan's only skill hasn't worked again. Shocker.
That's a bit harsh on me.
Ryan's like a one-trick pony, and the trick isn't even letting people ride it.
Oh, I want a bad ball in, to be fair. We need Big Baz to now bang one in. Come on, Barry Douglas. Let's have a goal. He's going in the box.
Per crossing.
Oh, look. The delivery's so good.
Ben Benson.
Ben Benson's... I love that. I would love it if Ben Benson took over. That would be comical as well.
With Jude Nally assistant.
I would sooner see Stuart Downing take over this side. I really would. Look at what Scott Parker's done. Look at what Russell Martin's doing at MK Dons and the football that they're playing. And, you know, I don't mind player managers and stuff like that. It can work. It can fail, but I'd sooner see it than Tony Mowbray at the moment, personally.
And, you know, let's be fair, Stuart Downing has been at the highest level of the game as well. You know, he's seen stuff, and even if it's to the end of the season, Joe, I wouldn't be against that. You know,
no, that's what I'm saying. I don't mean permanently, but just like to see us to the end of the season, we need something new. And Mark Venus isn't something new. That's Mowbray's best mate. You know, Damian Johnson, perhaps, but he's part of this setup. So how different is that going to be for the players? Probably just play the football Mowbray plays. So, you know, even if Mowbray goes, it's going to be Venus or Johnson that takes over. And how different will it be?
I think there'd be absolute uproar if it ended up as Venus.
The one thing that I want to know, which no one's given the answer to, is who at this club has the gumption to ring Pune and say that this has to change?
Well, I don't know. Who at the club besides Steve Waggett has got a phone number for Pune? 𝐒𝐏𝐎𝐍𝐒?
I don't know who makes that. I don't know who makes that call to the Venkies to say this is
Steve, I think.
Bad now, and this has got to change.
Do they not have anyone though who is kind of outside of that setup?
Yeah, 𝐒𝐏𝐻EL Pasha.
Get him on a live stream. We'll sell him.
Is he in the UK at the minute?
Yeah, he operates over here mainly. The players all know him. I've heard the players use his name all the time. There's a cardboard cutout image of him right near where the players sit at Ewood. He's a bigger factor in the football club than he's led on. His LinkedIn page lists him as being heavily involved at Blackburn Rovers. His personal LinkedIn page.
Yeah, and he's never at the supporters meetings.
No, he's kept in the background really, but he's the go-between really.
Way too transparent for the club, wouldn't it?
Oh,
that's interesting. So Dan's just put in our private chat. So JJ's Left Foot, which is a Wycombe Wanderers Twitter account, has given his reflections on Rovers today. I know we've come on leaps and bounds since then, but this Blackburn side is a shadow of the one that tonked us in September. Mowbray looks like he's had enough, and so do the players with some of these tackles. The epitome of mid-table mediocrity and the frustration that comes with it. That's a Wycombe fan and their observation on us.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
It's hard to even respond to it. It's so difficult. Oh.
Chance here for Wycombe. Oh, I thought we were going to give a pen there. Is he going to give a pen there?
Surely that's a dive. How is that not a yellow card for a dive? As Bradley Johnson appeals passionately for the first time in this game. That's a yellow card. That's a terrible dive.
Oh, dear.
There's 13 minutes left and we just don't even look like creating shots on goal.
Have we had a chance this half?
It's an embarrassment.
It is an absolute embarrassment. Embarrassment is the right word, Joe. And again, when I did on the other side last night, this is a side who are bottom of every metric in this division. When you're talking about goals scored, goals conceded, home wins,
Points, the most important one.
You name it, they are bottom of all the important metrics. And the fact that, as Alex says, what shot on target what shot on target have we had all game?
One.
The one speculative effort from Rankin Costello in the first half.
And our biggest chance is probably the Tom Tribal header.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest chance. But again,
we've only got one striker on the pitch now currently. We started the game with 2 or 3 on the pitch, and the one striker that's left is playing as an out-and-out right winger.
And both of those chances that we just spoke about there, the Rankin Costello one and the Tribal one, before we were 1-0 down, done absolutely nothing since going 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Tony, just go while you've got some dignity left. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Just go while you've got some respect left with the fans, please, before it gets toxic.
But it's not going to, is it? Because there's no fans there, so it can't get any more toxic. I think if we were in the stadium, he'd already be gone.
Because he nearly crumbled the season previous with the Barnsley home game, didn't he?
Yeah. David, absolutely spot on with that. That just shows you what's been served up to us in recent weeks. You're absolutely right. It won't ruin mine either, because it's just kind of, and rinse and repeat. So you're absolutely right. And 𝐂𝐄𝐍𝐒, this really concerns me, this part. You know, we are a cash poor side at the moment, and Mowbray's already said what we've got to spend in the summer. This is the other part, that sacking the manager and bringing in a new manager to get bums on seats next season, the club really need to think long and hard about and give us something to get excited about. Because you're absolutely right, 𝐂𝐿𝐶otty. Like, everyone's finances
Look at Preston.
Yeah.
Preston have done it.
Yeah. So that is bang on, 𝐿𝐶otty. I'm worried about it as well. I think they'll go through the floor, actually. A lot of people have fallen out of love with football and the habit of going to the football. What is Mowbray doing and what is the team doing to drag people back in to do that at the moment? Nothing.
I'd say that I wanted Coyle gone more at the time, Ollie. But yeah, not far off.
So it's a corner for Rovers now. Down in to put it in.
Appealing for a penalty, but he's not going to get it.
It came off par with Bellis's back and went over the bar. Sorry, Alex.
So what's more with the season ticket conversation? We don't know what the fan experience will be like in the ground. That could dissuade many from going to the game. You know, will you be able to have a drink on the concourse with the people you go to the games with? How long will you have to stay after the game to make sure that people leave the ground in a safe fashion? You know, will you be able to sit next to the people you normally go with? All these things, you know, if they are taken away from you, that could dissuade fans that would be willing to go back. So all of these things are massive for next season. And I don't see any answers to them at the moment. I really don't. You know, I'm planning on having a season ticket for next season purely because I know the club needs the money, but I don't know if other people are in the position to be able to say that, to be able to afford one. It's a big commitment.
And it is, Alex. I think about my own situation as well. You know, I've had season tickets for Rovers in the past. You know, I live 2 hours away. It's a 2-hour drive. It's not just the season ticket price for me. It's all of the petrol and, you know, the food and stuff that I have to buy for the day. It's a big expense.
The will to live.
Yeah. It's a big expense for me to do that. And I just think, am I going to do it next season? Am I better off just going to away games or picking when I go rather than a season ticket? I don't know.
Yeah. And it's not just fans that it affects. And I know people don't like the fact that football is business world now, but it affects sponsorships and partnerships, and it affects the corporate side of things. Businesses are less likely to invest in football clubs that aren't going anywhere. You know, Recoverite are on a 2-year deal. If we'd have happened to get promoted this year, or all of a sudden they're the front of shirt sponsors of a Premier League club with all the exposure that brings. Now, if we don't look like getting promoted, how many sponsors are going to come on board on multi-year deals?
Yeah. So I thought we'd had our moment that summed up the game, but that was absolutely it, Rovers. Rovers fans, we were looking a little bit dangerous there, actually, and the ball went out to Barry Douglas, who just needs to cross the ball in, and he's just absolutely shanked it high over, you name it. Just... Oh, dear.
I don't think we can get any less.
This is the undoubted low point. Undoubted. It's the fact that, you know, we've not even looked lightly.
No, we haven't. No.
I'd have that Mehmeti next season. However much they want for him, I'd pay $500,000 for him. He's been brilliant.
Phil picked him out yesterday, Joe. Absolutely sang his praises. That's got to be a yellow card as Bradley Johnson's.
Great player. I think he's looked as good as Harvey Elliott has looked for us. So if you're looking for that replacement, he looks great as a winger. Strong on both.
He'll not cost much at all, Joe. As I say, he was playing 9th tier last season. Let me find the club he was playing at last season. It wasn't even a club. Wasn't a club I'd heard of. Current squad, Mehmeti. So he was at Woodford Town last season, who play in the Essex Senior League.
Fancies to beat Bournemouth. Fancies to beat Bournemouth on Monday.
Free kick whipped in. Barry Doug. Oh, Bradley Johnson. That was a chance, man. Was it Johnson or Lenihan? It was Johnson. Great ball in from Douglas. It looks like he's there. He's there. Head the ball, man.
How does he get that head off?
So great ball in from Douglas deep. Johnson 6 yards out. He's there. He just has to head the ball in, and he doesn't, and it goes out. So big chance.
Oh, Tony, you've reached the end of the road, pal.
Good keeping.
Is that not outside the line?
It looked outside.
Or does it have to cross the whole of the line? Would have to cross the whole of the line, wouldn't it? Not touching it. I've been watching too much rugby league.
It's better than this.
Dizzy Thumbs, are you still there? Ollie, John Browning, all of you down under, or have you made the sensible decision to go to bed? Let us know if you're still there. We are coming up to 87 minutes. Dear, oh dear. 1 win in 13, which correlates with this watch-alongs. And my missus must be thinking, what enjoyment do you get out of this? Oh, brilliant.
I had a text earlier. I said, oh, I'm in the live stream now. And the response was, are you losing yet? So, you know. The answer at the time was no, but obviously we are now.
To be fair, I attribute our downfall completely to my missus anyway, because we got together in 2009. And
Chance.
Go on, go on.
Come on, Ty. Oh.
He's not been on the ball much at all, has he, Dolan?
No. Chance. Oh, shocking touch from Gallagher. Typical.
Yeah, we got together in 2009, and pretty much since that point, it's been a downward spiral. We were an established Premier League side when I met her.
I thought you meant your marriage then. I was thinking, Jesus, Ryan. was thinking that's a bit deep, mate.
Well, I've got another theory that was the year of my first half season ticket, so it might be my fault actually.
Chance.
Big chance.
Gallagher's
Get out
just
his
in his
way.
way. Gallagher just literally stood in front of him then. His spatial awareness on that man is just funny.
Oh,
How exciting. We had a shot on target then.
Come on, put it in. Oh,
Luckily, high and wide over. At least it was a shot. It was high and wide, but it was a shot.
you've got Bradley Johnson, an experienced pro who has a plethora of long-range goals to put on a video highlight reel. And then you've got John Buckley, who's very, very rarely hit the target from that range. Why is he the one going for that? I don't get it.
He was ready. PWO, thank
sorry,
you, mate.
can we just say, before we finish, because obviously we're all going to be down and in the dumps and stuff, Joe Rothwell has been the best player on the pitch today. Every time he's got the ball, he's beaten a man and got a ball in. He has looked the only threat in this half. And how many chances has he got to create before we actually put one in the net? I feel so sorry for him today. He should have had 3 assists.
And we just bypassed him the whole game.
I think certainly since I slagged him a little bit, Joe, he's definitely come into the game. Just when I made that comment earlier, I wasn't seeing it in the areas where we needed it to be. But absolutely, since that point, he's been bang on. Good tackle.
Corner. Oh, it's not going to go, is it? Yeah, it's gone. That went.
PWO, thank you, mate. We do try and make it enjoyable. It's not been the best results whilst we've been doing the watch-alongs.
Oh, this is the... works with the community trust, is that right?
That's it, yeah. But we absolutely just try and make it enjoyable, even in even in defeat, PWO. So thank you for coming. And El Scotty loves it when Joe shouts, "Chance!"
Here comes Mayo.
I think we said that twice today.
Yeah, that's depressing.
So Akinfenwa is coming on at the 90-minute mark.
There's not
You've
one.
got David Lowe, Ben Benson, Damian Johnson, Mark Venus, and Tony Mowbray as your coaching team, and they're all just sat there looking like we are.
Exactly. That's the point I made earlier, Joe. Who is the one getting a reaction out of this squad? Who is it? If it's not Mowbray, which one of them is it?
Come on, let's get a goal so that Mowbray keeps his job for another week.
So 4 minutes added time. Corner coming in. We're into the 90th minute. It's over. Lenihan down in to retrieve the ball.
Well, he'll put it back in, I'm sure. Come on.
Ooh.
Every delivery into the box has not gone where it should. It's terrible.
I think this will be Wycombes' easiest game all season, I have to say. I don't think they'll have had an easier game all season.
I'm just going to check their previous wins, see who they were against. I think they beat Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham. I know that much. Let's just have a look who else they beat. Wycombe. Ooh. Fixtures. So Wycombe have beaten this season Sheffield Wednesday at home 1-0. Birmingham away 2-1. Cardiff at home 2-1 they've beaten. Preston at home 4-1 they've beaten. Bloody hell. Huddersfield away 3-2 they've beaten. Reading at home 1-0 they've beaten. And then, yeah, they've beaten us 1-0. Oh, Preston. They've done the double over Preston. They beat Preston 1-0 a few weeks ago. So we have a minute and a half left of stoppage time, Rovers fans. Keep smiling, everyone. Don't let it ruin your weekend, as David said earlier. That's a nice tune, Joe.
Sorry. I drum when I'm anxious.
Leap year on today's viewing.
Come on, Ty. Oh.
On today's viewing, leap year, definitely. That is really worrying for us next season. So if Josh, if you're still there, can I change my thing to say, yeah, we need to get an attacking loan rather than a defender loan? I think I've changed, Joe, on the basis of today's game.
Okay. Oh.
I don't
Do we
really
look
know
like
what to
scoring? Do we look like scoring, though? Like, no Dak and Armstrong. We need someone that's just going to produce something. Have we defensively been that bad today? I don't think we have. I don't think we've been that bad.
This is the lowest point in Mowbray's tenure.
Yeah.
He has to go tonight.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's got
One
to
win
be.
in 13.
That's 4 minutes. Let's see if we get one last chance. But we're dithering around at the back, so we're probably not going to.
The time's gone. It's honestly, it's embarrassing to watch.
Still doing it. Referee's checked his watch. We're going to get one last go here. Wow, there you go.
Gallagher heads it over the bar, loops and lands on the top of the net. And with that, should be the game when this goal kick is taken. Ollie Jones, how do we compare to Bristol City? The Bristol City home game was not as bad as this one, Ollie. This is definitely the worst of the lot. Absolute worst of the lot. I don't know where the ref's finding this added time on added time.
That'll be it.
And that is full-time Rovers fans. Wycombe 1, Blackburn Rovers 0. Yes, a very, very disappointing loss. Mowbray spent his whole time on that bench. Just a very, very bad day at the office. Let us know what you think in the comments. We will be closing this stream very, very shortly, actually, just so that we can turn around the live stream as quickly as we possibly can. So just some quick instant reaction in the comments. I'll get Joe and Alex's quick instant reaction, then we'll close the stream. But yeah, it's another loss for Rovers. It's 1 win in 13 games. It certainly feels like the end of the road for Tony Mowbray. Let's hope it happens. It's got to happen. We've seen it all on the pitch today. Alex, just quick reaction from you.
Oh, God, I don't really know what to say after that. I would say, I think Joe summed it up quite well, that it was the lowest point of Mowbray's tenure. I think that's probably the shortest summary of the game I can find. A bad defensive mistake from a well-taken corner, and then once again just going a goal down and not looking like clawing the game back. Inability to create any meaningful chances, just terrible in the final third. Yep, sloppy in possession. I don't.
Gareth Ainsworth seeing all our players off the pitch, giving them a handshake. Could it be his introductions?
I don't see how it can get much worse than that unless we'd conceded 2 or 3. But yeah, really, really bad day for Rovers, that.
Yeah, really bad. Joe, just quick instant reaction from you before we finish off.
Stale, and the manager needs to go. That's about it, really. Not much more to say on that one. Terrible.
Chris, I tell you what, Chris, you always make me chuckle. You really do. And what an analogy that is, it. It was like finding out it's beans on toast for tea. Yeah.
And the microwave's not working and the beans are cold.
Oh, dear.
And then it's like finding out it's going to be beans on toast for tea next season as well.
Oh dear, oh dear. So Rovers fans, we will finish this watch along stream now so that we can get everything turned around ready for the post-match live stream, which we will be doing in about 15 or 20 minutes time. We just need to get ourselves sorted, get the panel together, and we will be back with you. Thanks all of you for joining us today. Yeah, appreciate your time on Good Friday. Obviously, you could have been doing better things today. Thank you for all your support, as you usually do. You really do keep us entertained, and you make it all worthwhile for us. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I love doing this stuff. So 1 win in 13 on a watch along. Bloody hell, we have to keep coming back, don't we? But absolutely love everyone's interactions, everyone's views, everyone's comments. We love just giving everyone their say and chewing over everything Rovers, which at the moment is not good for us. We'll be live in about 15 minutes or so. If you did want to join us on the show, we have got a graphic for that. There we go. Do send us a DM at @RoversChat_, and you can come and join us on the post-match live show. We're going to need all the help we can get because it's not going to be a good one, that one. So please do send a DM to Dan and get yourself on the show. Yeah, so I think I will leave it there and just say thank you to Joe. Thank you to Alex. Joe, go and enjoy training. Get this out of your system, mate. Things will only get better. Your day will get better from here.
Hopefully.
No worries. And Alex, you're going to join me on the post-match, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll join you on the post-match so we can...
Good luck, mate.
Run game. Yeah, I think we'll need the luck. I think Ryan will need the luck on that one. But yeah, it's been good to be on the watch-alongs again. I enjoy doing them, and I'm just sad that I've continued my 100% losing streak. So yeah.
Well, you haven't because it was Luke. So it wasn't you. It was Luke. So it's Luke
Yeah, we'll just blame Luke for it. That's fine.
Blame Luke. So there we go. We'll finish off then. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so time. We'll leave you with our 2 sponsor messages, Blue Rose Capital and 6yardsOut.com. See you later, everyone.
Bye.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsOut.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.